Hello, everybody. If we could all gather around the stage at the back of the world, we're going to get started in a few seconds.
No.
Excuse me, who said no? Who said no? No. Alrighty, so hello. Welcome to the community meetup. This is an event we do every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do something a little bit different today, which I'll explain kind of as I'm going through the rules here. Not super different, but you'll see. So I guess, yeah, when I'm done going over the rules, if anybody would like to show something, the way this works is I will ask those that want to show something to go into this magical rectangle in front of the stage. You'll appear up on that list. And then we will write that list down and kind of go through those worlds sequentially until we hit the end of the list or hit our cutoff time, which today will be 2 hours instead of 3. So with that said, please make sure that all worlds shown today follow VRChat's community guidelines and TOS. Please make sure the world's player cap is set to 40 users. That's just the max you can set. Please make sure the instance type you drop is Friends Plus or Invite Plus, just one of the two pluses. Please make sure that the worlds don't deal with any offensive or negative emotional subject matter. If you have any questions about that one, just let us know, and we'll tell you. If your world is over 250 megabytes, please let us know because we would like to have the much larger to download worlds towards the end of the meetup. If your world's not ready to be shown, please don't show it. By that I just mean make sure you have the bare minimum, such as collision, underspawn. If you have a time constraint, please let us know. We can put you at the beginning, middle, end. Whatever you need, although if you do exceed 250 megabytes, we would still prefer that you go towards the end. Please make sure that the avatars you use today are medium or better in the performance ranking. If you do not see a little notification at the bottom of your screen right now that says use optimized avatars, please select CyanLaser and click show avatar and select myself and choose show avatar as well, because I have little notifications that I can make pop up as well for things like respawning, quiet please, which typically means somebody's about to talk, so on and so forth. Please pay attention and listen to those messages as it helps us keep the event running smoothly and fast. Oh, and also select Faxnor and show their avatar as well. Apologies. If your world is copyrighted music, totally okay to show. Just please specify ahead of time because people do stream this event and that can affect their copyright standing. And then last thing on the rules is if you showed a world last week, we ask that you do not show a world this week. We kind of have a 1 week cooldown to kind of keep people cycling in and out. And then the new thing is we're going to be moving the cutoff. We're trying this out today. We're going to move it an hour earlier because we would like the last hour of the meetup to become more of a networking event. So what we're going to do today is after the last world, we're going to try coming back to the hub here where people can just have an opportunity to talk and discuss and do whatever from there, as opposed to just last world, hang out here until everyone's bored. So if that goes anywhere, we might figure out more of a structure for it, but that's just kind of what we're going to be doing today. So with that said, if you would like to show a world, please now step into the rectangle.
For the sake of bingo, please go on.
There was someone who asked to go earlier.
Yeah, it was,
Sorry, what was that?
yeah, MJ wants to go early.
I need to go earlier because I've only got like half hour.
Perfect, you can go first then.
So let's see. This is just the cutoff as well. So the list I have then is XR Bracer, technanon, MJ Cox 24 is first, then XR Racer, technanon, Nestorboy, Steve the Mitochondria, Fooma, and Vowgan.
Is that order okay?
Excuse me, I'm wondering if I can go for last.
You can go last, but just keep in mind, like, we're going to be cutting off last at about the same time we typically do.
Yeah, I know, because soon we'll come back here, I know.
Cool. Okay, if that's okay, then yeah, that's fine.
We'll see
And then MJ.
My world chooses game music.
Okay, if you'd like to come up here and say that, so that way the whole instance can hear you.
Yeah, right. If my computer stops trying to crash. My world has game music, so if that's something that will trigger copyright, make sure to turn your world volume off first.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you can drop a portal up there.
Drop the portal. You can drop the
Yeah,
portal.
drop the portal on the stage.
Oh, alright.
Oh, can you drop it
If you
there?
wanna come up here. Perfect.
There you go.
Yep.
French plus or invite plus? Plus or plus?
I've got it in loud so it can be public.
It says they dropped the wrong instance.
I don't have that one.
I think I had that one at least.
Drop portal.
There we go.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Oh. Alright then.
39. It's people
We're missing 2 people. We're gonna miss like 1 person maybe.
I need to stop having.
I'll just stick around longer, so that way it doesn't matter.
Okay, thanks, good.
It's a really cool idea with the hangout at the end.
Sign, go in.
Okay. Looks like chat is pretty dead right now. I guess I haven't messaged to know if it's actually working. If it's not, I'll have to restart.
Oh, this is not very
This is loud. Oh, there's some. Oh, the water shaders, but. Holy cow.
Wait, the world is loud? Good thing I have it muted.
Hello.
Yeah. Starting at the throne.
Wait, you're standing up!
Oh, that makes me dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does it even increase? I turned my volume slider down by where I normally have it is halfway. I turned that down another 75%.
And it was still loud?
I wonder how many people have jumped
What?
into water.
What?
Like it's a normal thing now.
Yeah, I basically turned. I normally have
Thank
it
you,
at
sir.
50%, but I turned it.
Everything gets
like,
really
so
blurry
that
and ridiculously
size
light, and I
is normally what I
respawned to
call
get out of there, and now it's
100%, right?
stuck on my face
So I turned that down to 25.
Respawning does not trigger
Congrats.
an exit collider, so you have to go into the water and find a way out of the water.
I'm pretty sure on Respawn does do that, but okay. I like made tests for
you
that.
fool.
Unless that's new, like I actually made tests for that.
Oh, well, it used to be.
Well, I mean, no, that was a long time ago.
My god, respawning from the water is broken.
Alright, let's try it. Oh my... Wait, can I do that? Huh. Wait, where's the creator?
So basically, it's kind of
Are you blinded?
When you respawn, I can't see shit.
Yeah, you can see the...
Alright, that's the only way out.
No, just jump in the water and jump back out. That's what I just did.
Oh, that did work though. Yeah.
I'm trying my best to find the water.
and you get
Oh my god, he almost missed the water.
Okay, I'm gonna try exploring then. Why is gravity so much higher here? Like, you have normal jump, but you just fall so much faster. I feel like I need to tell people to go explore because they're just staying up there. Okay. Is this a maze? Oh. Oh, there's the creator.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello.
I find myself in the presence of the creator.
Wow.
What is this game again from?
I didn't hear.
Monster High 13 Wishes, the Wii U version, because it had higher quality textures.
Ah. What inspired you to make a world of this?
I would.
It was easy to rip the models and I got bored, so decided to make a world.
It was easy to rip, so you just did it.
I mean, hey, I got a nice architecture, if anything, so you did pretty good with getting everything.
I was thinking of adding more of the school, but that would mean ripping more models and haven't gotten around to it.
I understand that feeling. At least I know coming from me, like having to rip models and like extract them and just making them all work and function properly. Man,
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah. I like how someone's avatar's got a noodle stand in it and they've just set up in the corner of the lobby.
Yeah, that's his store right there.
Wait, you're not manning the store? What are you doing over there?
What do you mean?
I was gonna ask for the Wi-Fi password and he's not even there.
Casually leave your store unattended.
Wait, does that mean free noodles? Okay.
Yeah.
The fish is
Wait a minute, hold on, wait, no wait!
Right.
Thinking about the stove and water running.
No, that's fine. It's cool. It'll be alright. You
Oh.
know.
It's not like anyone broke out in the pool area, but I only discovered as we were going, so...
The pool is a nice touch. Being able to swim in it and like watch yourself as you make the jump.
Yeah,
You literally like
I made sure that you couldn't go over the fence.
So I'm really wondering how your shirt is being held up back here.
Like, there was so many
Has
attempts
anybody
of
seen
me just trying to
collider
get
issues
over
or
the
real-time
fence.
How it's being held up.
一般上呢都是出去外面打包回来那种。
Where the fence transitioned.
Oh, here's the staircase.
Issue on late joiners that I have yet. What was I gonna say? I'm losing my train of thought. I need to turn down the music a little bit.
What is... Oh, is this the lighting?
The what I ended up doing
why is
to
there a
try
camera
to mitigate
over
the
there
issue
flying
was I
for me?
created like a state
Does-
manager object. And
Wait, what happened?
whenever somebody like pushes a button or triggers an event, they
without
take
knowing it.
ownership
Oh.
of that object, and the Udon script sends its state.
It's like I only saw it, I was like, oh, that's not supposed to be
And
a camera.
then the same thing happens for any new person who clicks that, and then on the world join, like anyone who joins, they should be able to get the same state from that same singular object. That's not working yet, so I got to figure that out. But that's kind of an idea that I was trying out, like trying to isolate the state into one place.
Yeah, that's hard to join because it's supposed to be relied on, like, just having it be prefabs where you can drag and drop any number in the world and they work. Like, that's the whole point. So it would have to be a...
I'm gonna turn on the radio. Throne room. Is it like a throne room? I can't fly.
Yeah, flying is weird on this world.
Flexner's a little late. I already did that. Reading comments. Don't go into the water and respawn. People complaining immediately, and he's like, alright, cool, do it.
Like the ends of the fake light rays. We thought it was just like a separate little light beam, but nope, it's just the light rays ending there.
Oh yeah, all the light rays here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I honestly am really curious how he managed to get it to 16 megabytes, because this is like really good looking for 16 megabytes.
Pretty nice, yeah.
I mean, it could be already Atlas if it was from the game.
Yeah. So it'd be a lot of tile work, man. I mean, man, he really stretched the budget with just having 16 mags.
Yeah,
Also,
how did
I
you
had
get
to
it to
manually
16
reassign
megs?
all the textures because it didn't auto-map properly.
Ooh.
And if you look at the mesh list, those are all the materials, because for some reason, the format Wii U uses separates everything so it can only have one material per thing.
Huh.
What do you do?
So the Wii U could only have one mesh per object? Interesting.
Yeah. Anything that uses, I think, BF res, you can only have one material per mesh.
Limitations
so
of
things like
Nintendo.
Monster High, 3D World, Bowser's Fury on the Switch also uses that format.
Haven't seen in like 4 years in game.
Well, they see like an open floor plan, open high ceilings, and instant they see that it's time to fly. This would be a good one. I know there's worlds where you can fly brooms and stuff. This kind of would work, but I'm afraid that like if the
that would break the map. That would literally break the map code, disable collision where you physically couldn't get to it.
Yeah, flying typically does that. But then again, when you're flying, it usually doesn't. It just ignores colliders anyway.
Yeah. Also, I'm wondering how they got over there, because I can't remember the route to get there. I think it was...
Wait, it was just that room right there. Yeah, there's another stairway over there on that side.
Oh yeah, that's literally just a staircase like over here then.
Yeah. But okay, time to respawn.
Not completely broken.
如果付2人间的价钱的话，就说是3美元好了，就说3美元好了。那么另外一个人也要。
Were you looking for squid?
They make it in.
Who are you looking for?
Technanon. I'm just saying. Technanon.
Right there. Yes, right here.
Oh, there. Okay,
I guess I'll jump off the side.
Oh, everybody quiet, please.
I never used to be a monster. I just wanted to dance, man. My calling in life. My frames. My frames.
Could all gather on Technanon here?
Thank you. Okay, so, for those who know me, know that I work on video players. But this is not actually a video player week for me. This is a new asset that I'm developing called YubiControls. You may know that I've developed a previous asset called Touch Controls. It was a rudimentary version of basically what this has become. So it's got a demo scene, probably about 5 minutes worth of content. Don't need to stay too long. Just a bunch of buttons and sliders and stuff to fiddle around with for a few minutes. Just getting some feedback, getting some ideas of like how it feels to use the buttons and all that stuff. So that's it. I'm gonna probably jump off the side to drop the portal because it's really crowded up here.
Understood.
There they go.
Don't go in the water.
This one, all the bodies hitting the water like.
But the water's dancing.
Why did like suddenly come to that conclusion?
push.
I'm falling this way instead.
All of us has faith, Cyan. All of us has faith.
Faith of what? Me walking on the water?
I guess it's not really nice.
Newbie controlled demo. Ah, I remember seeing this posted in prefab somewhere. So it appears to be just my impression. Physical buttons. Okay.
Oh, it's not smacking its trigger. I'm really I completely misunderstood what this did. I don't think I
What is this?
You push it around with your
Rich's
finger.
buddy. This one is finger.
These ones are pointer only.
Yeah, I got it to work for a bit, and then another person touched it, so I'm no longer able to move it.
Oh, yes.
I'm assuming that if you have multiple people trying to push it at the same time, it won't be very successful.
I just got it again there.
Out of the box,
Do you have it, or do I have it?
I don't have it right now. Is it synced? I don't know.
Pull your hand back a bit. I don't know. I can't hit it. No, I can't hit it. I can't
Oh, it is
hit
synced in.
So I
Yeah,
can't
I was saying.
Okay, so it's one person at a time.
It's just there's a delay between swapping. Yeah, get it out.
Gotcha. Okay, so this one is not constrained?
Oh, sorry about that.
Or no, it's only on, like, you can't move it out of the y-axis, it looks, or something. Whatever these things mean on the side here.
X, Y.
Oh.
Okay.
Kind of.
What is this one?
We just kind of missed it. Real-time light sections.
Oh, okay, there's tech.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say,
it-
can we get a
Yeah, a brief.
explanation?
So this looks like it's.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
the explanation for this. Yeah, the explanation for this is it's an interaction system that operates independently on all three axes. And you can constrain it and fiddle with different settings. You can see some settings examples there for the axis controls. So you can interact with them using various ways. Over there we have some object interaction, so they just track a transform and interact with it. Some pointer stuff, so you can do desktop support as well. For the player itself, it does 8-point tracking, which can be controlled in various ways, but it'll track your head, your palms, your fingertips on your index, your 2 feet, so you can do full body, as well as the player position for people who are on desktop. There's a secret button in the world that actually implements that desktop effect. There are settings that you can do, like snapping and stuff, so like snap to increments. If you set it to 3, it would go to 0, 50%, and 100% within the contained box, which is that blue one over there. The buttons and sliders over there are 2 different operations of this exact same script. So it's constrained on one axis for the slider, and you can move it around. There's no snapping. The button has a snap to position 1. And it's set to 0, which means it comes to the front. And so anytime you interact with it or push it, it will always try to, animate back to the front of the button, so it looks like it acts like a, tactile button. And all reacts to your palm, fingers. You can headbutt a button if you want. That local button over there is a good example of headbutting. You can use your feet. I don't have full body on right now. So yeah, various ways to interact with it, and it's all using vector world space vectors. So there's no actual collider like detection or anything in physics detection. It's all just vector 3s being detected within world space and calculated from there. So you can use any transform in the world, get the position, and try and interact with the button, and it works.
So it doesn't require players? It's just any transform? Is that what you just said?
Any transform.
Okay.
I have a specific script that does 8-point tracking, which calculates, for example, the finger. It'll take the bone position, do some math based on the finger size, and then push it to the tip of the finger, and then you can interact with it that way. And it just calculates that each frame, that particular offset. There's a bunch of culling and caching stuff to perform it, but that's what it is.
I want to try some of the buttons. So wait, are those synced, or is it just everything synced? Anything not
everything is synced except for that button over there because it's a mirror button, so I wanted to have it be local only.
Okay.
Joe, I think I fixed
I guess time to try it.
I kept shuffling the same deck. That was my issue.
Turn the sign
on.
Hello. Hi. There's a mirror right there.
Once you gotta throw it away, and then it's done.
Okay.
I was wondering why people were getting so friendly.
There's a button right there.
No.
Well, it's not just that. There's also the button fix.
Alright, what do we have over here?
Wait, so what do these do?
What do these do?
There's no tooltip.
Pointer only.
Oh, there's raycast as well.
Drumcat.
Oh.
They only do the pointers on this one.
No wonder I can't hear it because I still have my sound off from Lost
Example
World.
of, restricting and culling stuff.
Yeah, I don't have it loud enough.
So that one's pointer only. Is this one like hand or interaction only?
Drumsticks.
No, the one over there. Okay.
So if you grab the drumstick and smack them, smack the drumstick.
This
I guess
one
these
was
are local?
broken for me whenever I tried using
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but this one broke.
Yeah.
Oh, this one only works on one end?
Can you take a screenshot of it, or is it just
Yeah,
like
it's only
not
the tip of it, I
responsive?
guess.
For everyone.
Yeah, it's not doing anything for me either.
Alright.
So it's just, it doesn't do anything.
Network,
So it only works on the tip of the drumstick, not the back.
Yeah.
Are you sick of being honest? Are you sick of being comfortable? Are you sick of being guarded? Been honest for far too long? Boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka.
Count?
To be fair, this is also a network stress test.
Yeah, I assume so. That's what the meetup is for.
There's some, yeah.
Oh, this is a light?
An event sync continuity problem I'm trying to chase, but
So I'm not sure if it's because my frame rate was low, but it looks like just moving it fast doesn't always...
Oh, is it global?
Yeah, it's global.
It's global.
Yeah, moving back and forth seems to, like, sometimes lose tracking here. But I'm not sure if that's my, 24 frames.
Yeah.
Like slowly, just slows down.
well, it is technically tied to update due to some limitations I have to deal with, so it would be tied to frame rate. Yeah.
Wait, I see it moving now.
If you use the pointer,
Oh, you can
it's actually a lot easier.
Yeah, the pointer worked fine. It was just the finger.
Got it.
Yeah. Pointer is always the reliable fallback.
I gotta say, the sounds are very satisfying.
Very cool.
Oh wait, I didn't actually...
I like that.
The popping.
Yeah, it's like
Double stand.
So I feel like I could think of an idea and possibly a solution on that. I'm not sure if it's worth implementing, but more towards like, if you were down and you were like... never mind. I was gonna say like, checking whether or not like within the constraint of something moving too fast, it's just like if you were pressed and then just saying on the next frame I'm not, check if that was like within, still in axis, but like that might not be worth implementing.
A little filtering.
Well, there's a thing called sticky, which means if you start interacting with it, it'll like jump to where your finger is, so that would probably help compensate for that, but...
I mean, so far it's a
give and take,
good
'cause
system.
That can cause other results. Yeah. Still,
Assuming this is performant at all.
Not,
I like it.
It's a closed beta, I guess it would be considered closed beta. It's not public yet, but... Because I have this one, this is the move one, so it does translation. I also am, in my plans, I have a rotation-based one, so that would include something like a dial, and then also a lever.
Just rebuilding all physical items, making it in the one system. I know people were like asking
for
for
a
it.
long time, so I finally got around to it. I dedicated December basically to just developing this. It took me way longer than I thought it would to get to this stage, but yeah, the turn one's gonna be quaternions. Yes.
Use this to
Oh, sure.
control lighting setup for next December, So control just where you're
That's it. We can move on to the next one. Quick time going.
Yeah. You can go tell Squid that one, I guess.
Nice. Where can I get it?
Also, sorry for not looking to chat much in here, but like, hello. Yes, that's what I was thinking too, about it being like, what they showed in the stream, it's like, oh cool, somebody's building it before VRChat releases it. Testing a button to know, or to get people to use the mirror. I'm honestly curious to see how Avatar Dynamics is actually performant or not, if they're adding collider to every single person.
I'm the hot dog, you're the bun. Gather around and have some fun.
This guy's...
Okay. Yep. Okay, so for the past few weeks, I'd say, I have been working on porting this projection painting thing for Unity, right? But it's had some issues because you can't directly port it to Udon because there's a lot of things related to it which aren't exposed. So I've rewritten like major parts of it just to make it Udon compatible, and also implemented my own method for preventing like a bunch of artifacts that were showing up. They didn't have a very good one to begin with, but I hope this works for most people. I do know it might not work for AMD users, but that was something I could not account for because I do not have an AMD.
GPU?
GPU, right.
Oh, GPU, okay.
I'll let you know.
It does not crash, however, do not fret.
Well, that's good.
That is the minimum standard.
This is a classic. You should have invested
Some
in
of you
bidding.
may not, but that's just a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Your purchase decision.
Some of y'all make.
That's the speech that was just made.
Wait, are just people hitting it as they go?
The mirror. Whoa, my frames are back, but only for a little bit.
Yes, we were full. I didn't check this instance, but the previous one was definitely at 78.
This is like a blender auto unwrap.
Oh my slithy toes.
Let me see if I can
reset
real
quick.
Holy shit, go.
Very, very.
Oh, there we go.
Quickly
Okay,
glue
there.
together
Wow,
cylinder
weird.
and cube, yes.
Where's the
And
fun?
it's got a nozzle, so wherever it's pointing, it is shooting onto like the object. So
Oh, is
when
it
you hold down the trigger, yeah, it's local. It's local for now because there's gonna be so many people at the event here, right? I would have otherwise made it synced. But so you have all of these objects to the right. They were very convenient because they already had Atlas UVs together. So you can hold down the trigger and paint on them.
But I've seen it in the video.
One thing to note is that it is also occluded by avatars to some extent. So, like, if you're gonna be trying to run the panel,
Man, Substance can eat its heart out.
Oh, it is included by avatars.
Here we go.
does that mean I can paint on you?
Spraying this you included?
I was going to set that up, but I didn't have time. I want to like just like paint my avatar to the world, so I could have that somewhere off in the distance. So you can paint onto that.
You would need a certain level of
That would have been
resolution.
like great, honestly.
Like I could like spray around.
Cool to see you.
Nessie, I'm having some trouble. I can't seem to paint.
I just moved it.
It's okay, you tried. It's not like you can look now.
Yeah, there was a I mean, if we had like a way bigger hand, like give me a second, like a way bigger hand that I could use.
Keep picking things up.
I'm like blocking my tracking doing that. Yep,
I
that
can
makes
make
sense.
those cool space like outline things that I put on my skateboards.
Oh, you can't interact from that side?
What is the age value? Oh, that's the column.
Yeah, so you have saturation and that. I made it really small because
I don't think I accounted for that. Oops.
Alright, now I think we could do an outline of this hand possibly.
mess with texture painting aren't familiar enough.
Here, someone with a small avatar lay down somewhere, and we'll spray paint.
All right, I'm gonna put a handprint on top of this one.
Okay.
Perfect. You have to spray it from pretty far away.
Any other shader? Pick up your hand. The most to make it.
How does it look?
It like partially works.
I got a cyan handprint.
I was probably too short for facts.
Come on, baby, let's paint the town.
I'm an AMD user as well.
I don't see I can paint anything.
AMD GPU?
I got rainbow with the heart. And
What a very interesting thing.
Now I really want to do it on people, and I'm very sad that it doesn't work on the people.
Wasn't Yakuza saying he wanted something like this?
Okay, I have it the wrong way. That's,
But I do have. I will make sure to ask Dark Layer after this is over. If Dark knows about this.
Oh, is there something I have to enable?
I don't think that's gonna help me much, but I do know Dark. What?
Is there something I have to
No,
enable
I
to see
can't
things
see
on
anyone
like
else's
the black
beautiful
geometry?
Picasso.
Wait, do you see this right here, Squid?
You should be able to spray paint onto the
drawings. Have you tried drawing?
You take this and spray it yourself. It's local.
Can I erase it? I don't know.
Oh, wait a second.
Okay, if I go
I want to spray pink hearts. Da, da.
Hey, where's the car? We want to spray paint the car.
The car?
I want an ice cream paint jam.
Would you not too?
Oh, the heart
I want
spray
some
is
of that,
very rewarding.
I want to draw smiley faces.
Hello again.
Oh, does it?
All the
And
love
drawing with
trees.
smiley faces.
Makes me happy.
Hail the Udon chair.
Just in time for Valentine's Day.
Oh, you can move it.
Actually changed.
Smiley face.
Wait, Cyan?
What?
Have you tried using the smiley face and shooting at an angle?
Just melts in the direction it goes.
I did now, but yeah, I was doing that earlier.
It's like XP.
It casted properly the way it's supposed to.
Very true.
I guess it's is this a
So
projector?
that it doesn't just place flat things. So if the object is rotated like this, it places the thing like this on it.
Slider, I think.
Mhm.
You have drawn the funny, and now it's
I
time.
have that now.
It's like a heart melting.
Wonderful.
No, that's the ice is on the right.
Use the heart tool. You can very easily make wieners.
A woman like how it actually takes into account the angle you do it in.
Oh yeah.
It's funny seeing like the UVs
Okay,
there.
so this thing is local.
Oh, wow.
Everything's local. It's a good thing that it's local.
Oh.
Is this the mirror area?
Can you paint
It is
these?
the mirror area.
It is.
It will help me. I'm addicted.
Yeah, my criticals go.
That sounds like a you problem.
Oh.
Very stylistic.
You occlude the color.
I can.
But that's it. Those are like the two things.
I don't know.
It was actually
Otherwise, you can paint the entire
so I was trying to figure out if I want to do flat shading, just everywhere, not flat color everywhere, and then I took a super low res just noise sample and then had that tile all across as like a metallic map. Like, oh, that actually looks kind of cool. So then I just had to work with that more.
If I'm spraying off
Yeah, this weird shininess to you. Drawing a very poor lotus.
FX Node, if you go into the Discord, you'll actually see the overflow instance link.
Gosh, I don't know.
So you probably can't get into this one, but you can definitely get into like the world itself.
So then I mentioned it all manually.
People stand in front.
I want to go back to sleep.
Nothing's stopping you.
I woke up to come to the meetup. I took a nap after the concert. I was a little late. I ended up in an overflow instance in the Monster High world for a while.
Wait, I saw you in here though.
I got there just at the end. I think enough people had to like reset because of the water or something. I did not experience that.
If you respawned in the water, you had the effect still, but like if you just went back in and jumped out normally, like it would go off.
Ah, I see. Okay. But no, I didn't jump in the water because Fax was in the overflow instance and says, don't go in the water and respawn. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, who else is showing today? Let's take a look.
就是这些笔刷的上方荧幕啊，就是把所有的材质的那个范围全部都摊开来，然后铺在一个二维的平面上面。
Steve, Fooma, Vowgan, and XR. Okay.
So for most positions, this works. Your actual knee is like here. So it's like
Oh, I thought Sam was gonna come today.
it's just proportionally. It's just weight painted weirdly, but just also bodies and bodies.
Sort of a little bit of that reading skeletons. I see so many really unique.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh, it's
Nestor,
over.
did you say that you were planning on syncing this as well?
Hang on.
No. Well, I mean, it's up to whoever. I want to implement some syncing code. I was going to contact BD for it, but I did not have time to do that now.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I would sync so many people drawing onto the same thing, because the syncing for textures is supposed to be, well, you know, like one user draws onto this texture, so they sync this texture, right? But I mean, I guess if everyone, it's kind of hard though, because everyone has one brush. It would be. This uses two cameras as well, so it might be expensive to do more brushes.
I actually just thought of a potential way to sync, but like, you have AMD?
Can confirm, works on AMD.
Okay, it might for
drawing on you.
it's not just about AMD. It's also I wanted to make that possible. I was gonna upload the build with my avatars, so you could also like
this
technically
thing
draw
over
onto
here,
it because
and
it's,
then you paint on the actual
but it might work for certain AMD users and might not work for other AMD users. I think it depends on the graphics card they use. I need to contact someone who's worked with a lot of objects. I think it might be the geometry pass. It is also technically Quest compatible. I managed to do some testing for the Quest, and geometry shaders do work on Quest. It's just that they aren't stereo correct. So because I have two cameras and I do the special magic in them, those aren't like those don't do a stereo pass, so they can do the geometry shader just fine. That's to mostly fix the scenes.
I'm looking at your stream, Cyan, and my designs are far superior.
I'm not trying to make anything interesting.
That's what we call stream sniping. That's not okay.
That's right. I'm like, oh, he's only got purple, no rainbow, no rainbow effects.
Oh no, I cleared that. You just didn't missed it.
Oh, I see. I just looked at it what you have there right now.
Yeah, I hope to be able to make it a prefab though. Like as I said, there's a lot of issues with Udon not having a lot of things exposed, so I can't create new textures at runtime for individual objects, and I can't draw them individually to do the separate passes. So the UVs, for example, need to be atlased. If they have overlapping UVs, then it's gonna have issues. But luckily, all of these ones that came with the SDK already had atlas UVs, so that was very easy.
My characters anyway. Mistake of
also, if you technically have like an atlas avatar, I could maybe set up a thing, maybe some more shader magic to grab your mesh and then grab your UV, so then I could like copy your model, and at that point I could also draw onto that. But like as I said, we can't render objects individually, so you'd have to like stand on your own here and then have a projector on you probably. But it might be possible.
Honestly, no, yeah, that's fair. But honestly, I've been getting some really good inspiration from Mode Works because it's like it's so fucking good.
I just need someone to make a portal-based world with portal jazz. I need that so bad.
Portal jazz? What?
The gels from Portal 2.
Oh, gels.
The bouncy gel and
You can see
I remember that, yeah.
And like this texture is also kind of high resolution. You could definitely turn it down because the way they do it is they have a really low resolution texture and they kind of chunk up the world. So like that texture is like a mask, and then they just use like higher fidelity noise on top of that to make it add that extra detail around like all the group you painted.
I guess I could
Got the gel had physics. You got in there, right? Do you want the physics or just the gel itself?
Like being able to paint like the level with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I probably would not have thought of Portal first for that, because I probably would have thought of Splatoon instead. But that's same idea, just different implementation.
Yeah. Splatoon also wouldn't like need you would only like do masks with that too, I don't think, because you don't do gradients, you don't like do a whole black for each.
I mean, I would assume it's a lot lower res than this.
Whatever it is.
You wouldn't need like extreme detail, you would just like have large voxels. Oh, squid's behind you.
Well, could you have, oh no, because you can only do one object at a time, right? Or one atlas at a time?
As long as everything is atlas, you could just switch it out, like I have some methods in there just to like reinitialize, like if you want to switch to a new UV performance for a different object.
Oh. Squid, are you trying to say something?
Mister, I don't want to create a mess, but
Hello, Steve.
Nestor, I just want to say this is fucking awesome. Seeing how this is coming along, and I want to know what happened.
Would you like to just drop the photo? Wow, it gets quiet the further away you go.
Are we going to Remnant? Skybox test. Alright, Skybox test.
That'd be scary.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Alrighty.
Alright, I'll go ahead and then.
Yo, it's the Skybox.
The player cap never changes on my end of how many people are going in. Even in like public worlds, I never see it change. I wonder if that happens for anybody else or it's just me.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty.
Bad.
Okay.
Through the door.
Alright, Steve, can you explain what's going on in this test?
Minecraft-based sun cycles.
Oh, there it is.
Raid around the skies.
What a nice Skybox. Yeah, very,
Oh.
very toony.
And then,
Cool though, holy shit.
Look at the color stars.
so wait, is this synced or is it just...
Sky, like the clouds and the stars and everything and whatnot. It's all on one atlas texture. And so it has
Are you
different...
doing that cool, like, it's just moving the, what the shit you call it?
Yeah.
Look at me, I know my stuff.
That's a... It's just some UV panning things.
Yeah.
And then I'm basically...
Did you make the shader for it as well?
This is using Ployomi. Everything is basically a transparent PNG, which is probably god-awful because...
Wait, is it actually a Skybox or is it just Ployomi on a bunch of objects?
It's basically Ployomi on a bunch of objects. It's probably bad for optimization.
Because I thought this was like a Skybox shader, and it's like I want to see that it's an actual shader thing, but like, oh, okay.
Imagine if I actually knew how to code shaders, Lamau. This is basically an animated. There's a timeline for the different times of day, and it's scrolling through. The different buttons that are on that wall over there are for morning, midday, the setting sun, and then night. And then there's cycle. And right now it's defaulted to cycle so that you can see the progress through it. Whenever it's in its final state, I'm not going to have it this fast, of course. It'll be on like either 1 minute equals an hour, so it'll have 24 minutes, or it'll be like half an hour, so it'll be 48 minutes for the cycle. But the idea is to eventually implement this into some type of, like, you know, either Minecraft, yes, exactly. Either an open world type of game or just kind of a hangout world that you can change at different times of day. But I really wanted to make something that was basically like, I don't know, I was kind of tired of seeing the same HD Skybox slapped down in Unity, or the default Unity Skybox, so I've never seen like a good universal anime Skybox, and I wanted to try to do that. So I looked at a lot of reference from Studio Ghibli and Genshin Impact, and I combined some elements here and there in order to kind of create like one universal thing. But yeah.
I like how all the clouds are like affected by the lighting too.
Yeah, so I'm animating a lot of the colors, the post-processing, the different things and elements in the texture and material for Ployomi. Thankfully that I can animate on it, but it's all like according to the different times of day and trying to universally connect to the colors and shit. It's weird to try to explain it, but yeah.
If I stare too long into the sun, will my screen start going black?
Maybe.
I have no idea, but if you do, I would consult a doctor, I guess. I don't know.
I would consult a technician.
Are you, is this going to be open source, or is it going to stay, Like which direction are you
anytime,
headed?
like a bright light were to like
I'm
shine
thinking like whenever I'm done with this, I'm probably gonna get rid of the Ruby
just with
moon
enough
because obvious
stimulation,
IP reasons.
I can sneeze as a result
like
of it. It's
I want to add some other
that
toggles to it.
sensitivity.
I want to add like different phases of the moon that can be switched. And whenever,
So you're saying your nose
like
is
right now you can't see it because I don't have
sensitive
the
to the
option
sun?
for it. But there's different phases.
I think it's just more like
stimulation to my it's all on the same UV
that stimulation happens to also stimulate
so it's
like
not like one big ass texture.
the nerves that affect my eye.
A bunch of nodes, and they're pretty close to each other. So it's like I'll probably try to see if I can do that for slapping up on a marketplace or something like that. But
Like a paid asset instead of like an open source thing.
no, yeah, that's the idea.
Okay, got it.
That is
But yeah,
Still, I'm waiting for Ruby Volume 9 to come out, but I don't know when will it come.
damn it,
I think it's really zooming, by the way. It's trying to. Because we got online. Tap as well. I don't know if he's gonna go.
no, yeah.
See the moon, I was like, oh my eye, emote. This is not an emote.
Oh, what's happening?
This world has nothing to do with the remnants, right?
Was that an avatar, or was that just like my side, like some blue massive there?
From the VR yet, but we'll see if any kind of projects surface later on that will actually use it. But you know, who knows? Only time will tell. I just wanted to make a universal skybox for it.
One thing for sure, this skybox is beautiful, and at the same time, it is burning my eyes.
I apologize. On desktop it's not so bad, but I understand if VR is something else.
No, I'm on desktop. I'm on desktop.
I think it might be like it should be fine though.
If it's slow, it's definitely fine. It's just the quick contrast.
But I didn't think it was that bad.
Rotate around us, but this sun rotates in the opposite direction, like in the opposite axis.
It's a heliocentric view of the universe.
Sun rotation.
Yeah.
It shouldn't rotate. The clouds rotate.
No, the stars should rotate with the sun and the moon, unless we live in a heliocentric world.
The stars are in the... Yes, I am 100% sure.
Oh yeah, they're not rotating. No, they're actually not rotating. It is actually the clouds. Look for static reference. The stars are actually not rotating. I thought so too, but it's just the clouds that keep going. If you look at like the corner,
yeah, I can tell.
you can see
I'm
that the
looking
stars
at
are not
it.
moving.
But technically, Steve, the stars should be rotating with the moon as it moves across.
I did that earlier, and somebody was like, I don't like it.
People
and it's
very,
like, all right, well, you know.
yeah, he would make you very, very nauseous.
Look at this pillar.
I'm looking at this like
And compare the position.
box over here.
Like on top of the star. And
I don't know about making it into like the general afterburn thing, but I just thought I'd let you know for this one. I think it'll be kind of neat. There is a way that's exposed to Udon to make this work on avatars as well. The horizon gradient color from like sky, floor, and horizon color is exposed to Udon, so you can actually set that, and it will affect all the avatars in the world as well.
That box.
According to what the Skybox is trying to do. You can actually do that.
That's really fucking cool.
And I have an asset that does that for like the video player, so like the video player can affect avatar lighting. It's actually free on my GitHub.
I can see a star that's like just
But yeah, it's very simple. It's just like 3 lines of code where you can just set it. It's in, I forgot what it's called. I think it's like render settings, .gradient or something. But it's just like a color object. You can set that in real time. It's super cheap. It doesn't actually calculate anything. And if the shader uses like even basic lighting, it will apply it to the avatar. The only downside being it doesn't work if you have light drops in the world. So that's something you need to really consider on a world-to-world play. But for something like this, where it's like just a demo, it's a nice little effect.
You know the craziest part?
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm still debating on how else I could go about this, but it's like, I don't know any kind of shader code, I don't know any kind of Udon all that much. And Dinky helped me out with the buttons in order to get them to toggle to different states. So it's like, besides just painting and slapping it on an animator, I don't know much to do about it.
my hand.
But no, yeah. I appreciate the advice though. That's neat. I'll have to look into that if I ever like jump into that kind of stuff.
I know, like, all the stars are
gradient dot. Yeah.
I forgot what the exact setting was. I think it's on like render settings or something. I don't know. Something like that. But it is exposed, you can just set it. It's pretty simple, like even if you don't know exactly what to do, it's just Udon graph, you can probably do it fairly easily. You can do like 4 or 5 nodes.
Nice and, you know, neat.
Okay.
The only thing is that
Hell yeah, though.
It does look very neat though. I have to say that, definitely. It's very beautiful.
Thank you. I still think I need like a toggle for different, like the different stars, because there's a lot of stars that have different colors, and I could just like have a simple toggle for them to be off, or have like no stars or no clouds or fewer clouds, one or the other. I don't know, but it could
An
be
easy way to do it
like
might be to not have them toggle on off, but just be allowed to like set the color. So you just have like 4 different color, like 4 different star patterns. You can just set the color, and if you want them off, you just set them to like black or something, and you just do like, if they're black, just don't render them. Or like set them to the background color, something like that.
Right. That makes sense.
Steve, if it's okay, will we be able to move on? Or?
Oh, absolutely. No, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wait, Carla, what? There's already dislikes on this video? Why?
Oh my god, that blue.
Yeah.
I don't notice it as strongly.
This looks like a laser beam in here. That's like a piercing laser beam.
Oh, as soon as I pulled this out, it was like everything just looking like a purpley tint. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, it's like a lamp.
I'm blind.
What's up?
World drops, or I was looking at the.
Quiet, please, guys.
So this is a side project of a side project. Phase Dragon actually just shared a particle system. I said, I got to use this. I got to just expand on this. So it's 2 or 3 days, creating just a nice little demo world. It's using prefab assets, stitching together, kit bashing things together. Copyright-free music. I made sure we put that in there.
Yay.
It's using Technonon's new YubiControls. So I don't know if it's the first one out there, but actually another demo of their controls used in a separate way. So give it a try. Push buttons around. It's basically a toilet paper world. Paint the city, paint trees, all that one.
Nice.
And it's audio link for some reason, because why not? You have to have audio link everything. So, warning,
This is gonna be totally different
because
kind
there's
of
going to
party.
be particle mesh collisions. VRChat might not be able to handle mesh collisions after a certain point, and you might just fall through the map. So if it happens, respawn the world. If it happens to everyone, we'll just rejoin back to the main instance. I tried it with 20, worked okay. I don't know how it's going to work with 80. Who knows? But we'll see. Let me check them.
Let's try it. Sure.
That's only 4 times as many.
Cool. When I accidentally
The fact
press
that
E,
the fact that that's
switch laser suddenly disappear and it feels like
Particle collision blocks other collision? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, hold on. I don't get it.
I guess we are gonna find out.
We are.
Toilet paper chaos. This sounds amazing.
This time I have a puzzle. Great.
You all are missing out on
I don't.
Well, here we go. We got.
Oh, wait. Were you joking, Carla? Because there may not actually be any dislikes? How would you know? And I was not expecting this to be used so much. Oh, it's synced. Wait, where are the... Yeah, where are the cannons? Is there extras or...
I just turned around and I had... Oh my god.
So when will I be able to favorite this?
What was that?
Oh. So there's other guns?
I wanted to give you a gun.
I cannot wait to favorite this.
Oh, the toilet paper is the audio links?
Oh, here's a gun. Okay.
Here you go.
Oh,
Cyan.
I don't see where it is. Where's the... Where did you pick it up from? Oh, here it is. No, no, wait.
This is fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Is this South Centauri's world?
Oh no, it's Fooma's. Oh wait, how do I... How do I shoot it?
Doesn't that shoot for you?
Trigger. Hit the cock. It's got a little handle thingy.
Where?
Oh, is that an aim thing? Or I don't know what that is.
Whatever it is.
Can I try?
Oh, okay.
Let it go and pick it up again.
Say, Fiona, I kind of lucked out. I made it in this.
No, this one's run off.
I had to try a couple times.
Oh wait, so you have to actually reload them somehow?
Whoa, watch where you point that.
No, it takes 1 second.
It's
So 1
supposed
second,
to just have a timeout. I tested
it's just 1 second time.
Yeah, but this one doesn't work.
Oh yeah, that one seems
Okay,
that
we need to
yeah.
get it over the trees. So it drapes on the trees. I love that.
Also, there's double jump in the world. I found that out.
Wall jump, double jump, you can go on buildings, you can explore. We tried the hot air balloon right now.
Fooma? So you say this is created by using a particle system, right? So let me guess, you use trails and ribbons.
This is insane.
Yay!
Wait, is there a grenade?
You think there would be a collider on the plane? You think Fooma would have done that?
Wait, for what?
Do you see the airplane up there? I don't know if it's local or not. Mine.
Oh, up there, yeah.
Photogrammetry render, not.
Oh man, this is fantastic.
I don't know how to make it go far enough to even like hit that, but that would be interesting.
So nobody crashed in the meantime to force us to go to the next world immediately.
The plane does have a collider on it. It is a mesh collider, so if you like, but yes, you can do it outside. But you can get it over the plane.
Okay, so next level.
The hot air balloon, there's a special gun on hot air balloon.
So what you should do for next though is you should put the combat system in just so that you can hit players.
Oh, there we go. This actually, I experimented to play with Cinemachine. So the puppy was my first experiment with Cinemachine. So I kind of put the things in here to try it out. So.
Wait.
The cars and all that.
Okay, so they do despawn after a while. Okay, yeah, I can see it from.
Wait, is there like an extra one? Because like, why is it that one so far? Or
so there's different guns. There's 6 different guns. The starting ones are kind of basic, but there's other guns hidden around the world that either shoot really far.
okay. Because I'm seeing like somebody shoot like really long, and I'm seeing another person shooting one that looks like a grenade explosion almost. I didn't realize you had that many.
And this new. And this UI is using Technanon's new UI. So it's the press button. The raycast is actually audio link raycast. So if people are so inclined to have that involved, you can actually audio link the raycast material.
You can audio link the raycast.
Look at that building over there, guys! Look at that building! It's like water flowing.
My frames.
Oh my god!
Really good idea, Fooma.
Yeah.
I try to do a text list.
So is this one a demo, or are you gonna just publish it as is?
I'm making sure no one broke, and then I'm going to publish it after the meetup. Yes.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, this is gonna be a big hit. Is it Quest compatible?
Yes, I made sure it's Quest compatible, and it actually runs very decently.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's fine.
I wonder if you can make a game out of this, like with some form of scoring somehow.
I don't know. I was thinking about like how to record the ribbon trails to do like a Splatoon type thing, but I'm not smart enough to do that.
Yeah, that'd be complicated.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab some guns and bring it back. So let me go get some.
Oh.
One of these houses is yours.
This is what VR is for, honestly.
Automatic
Is
toilet
to,
paper and everything.
Release chaos. Well, no, it's just like, okay, if you did this in real life.
What just happened here?
No, that would be. I'm TP'd.
I think, what is that, Jordo doing that? The green one? Yeah.
Fiona,
I
think
can't.
This is a great world. I really like the low poly art style.
It's on top of me. I got
What was that? Oh, yeah, it was. We saw that.
Man, I gotta sneeze. Anybody got a Kleenex? Oh, wait.
Have you got an issue?
We
This
are.
is your most convenient world.
Right.
Nothing's coming out of this.
I like how they turn into little watts as they despawn.
Sparkles.
So like where all of the rolls were, right? They like where they're just kind of jiggling around, right? So like it kind of looks like they're like a little crumpled roll.
Oh, they're crumpling up. Yeah, I see it.
Poofy
There's one over there.
sparkles.
And then at that point, you shouldn't worry because the VRChat should be smart enough to like automatically move to those cores.
I kind of want it. I want to be able to pick up the roll and throw it, just like you would
I mean, ask
You
Fooma
know,
for
the
that.
guns are fun, but I also want to throw them.
But yeah, find
Yes,
Fooma and
this
ask
is
him.
amazing.
Oh, there.
Let me know what you did with your frames.
I think I fucked up. I fucked up.
It's a little homunculus.
Yeah, it's got a little miniature avatar.
It's a homunculus of myself.
Avatar thing again.
It's a little
that.
avatar man. You can hold him in your hand like an ice cream cone.
Oh, that thing?
Way better than a mirror.
Wait.
Top 2 buttons.
Oh.
Up and then down.
Yes.
Who's cool? You're cool.
Wait.
You're cool.
Who made the tiny one? The tiny people? Was that technanon made the tiny people?
It says miniature was made by Merlin, Locks, and Suzuki. If you click the button down here, Fooma did.
Those are my 100 ordinary.
It's the same thing.
Fooma made the little ones.
If there is a
Like someone showed that off.
Fooma showed a world that had the little orb, but that's also an asset that I think. Which, you know, Fuma's here explaining this. Wait, Fiona, do you see Fooma?
The person generator.
What's that? Yes. Hello.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was too busy looking at the tiny version. It's very loud.
Yeah, it's okay.
Why is this kind of fun?
I don't want to
The person button.
define your experience.
Why are you so like this? What the heck, man?
You can't just ask someone why.
Technanon, I'm not sure if anybody has given this feedback yet because I kind of missed it, but I'm kind of missing the tooltips idea using your UI system.
It is going to be implemented. I just hadn't done it yet.
Okay, good. Because it's like
we'll have proximity and all that.
Alright, in the plan. Oh.
I'm making it rain.
Oh God.
If I don't click anything, I fall
Which menu
through.
button did you press to do? Which menu button did you
I don't know because they're invisible.
Kyle, Splatoon was mentioned earlier. The problem is that it's difficult to actually implement that. Even though I do want
so
it.
jiggly. All of the toilet papers.
Yeah, I see it.
Jiggle, 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 jiggle.
They are vibrating.
They all jiggle at the same time, though.
That could just be Unity's like when they're doing particle physics. I don't know. But I'm at a nice 9 frame rate.
Oh, this is laggy. Oh my god.
Yeah, I got 11, 13. Yeah.
Stop.
The fact that they're audio links just makes it that much more. Mwah.
Audio linked toilet paper. Can't have that in real life.
You know, I'm sure you could.
That's been fixed. I just hadn't.
Whether you should is another question.
Oh my god, I'm like, it's so fucking bad.
All right. I am very happy that I got to see this.
This is a great old world. It's a grand old world. Full of fun.
Wait, if you click the rejoin button, do you keep the spot? Or can you slowly kick that for full lobby?
Like, it would have been fun without the collisions. With the collisions, it's amazing.
I remember Phase Dragon showing that at some point.
Oh wow, that one
Was not expecting it to actually be put into a world. No, it was, well, within the last week or two. Was shown again. Shown again.
Yeah, got it. Because I thought I saw him made something like this like a really long time ago. Centauri had one.
Fooma, would you be okay?
To infinity.
So I'm not sure. I don't think I ever saw Centauri's, but maybe Phase Dragon gave it to Centauri back then. Or, you know, Centauri just remade it after hearing it.
just said this is Spider-Man with toilet paper.
Well, I mean, it's not the system itself isn't difficult, but the just implementation is genius.
Holy shit.
Okay, we're about to move on.
I accidentally turned on the mirror and then
Yeah,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
going on my next list.
Do you want to just maybe drop it over like
Not
near
even
the stairs?
12 gen.
Oh.
Oh, no explanation, just portal dropping?
Really,
No,
it's
yeah,
the
they're just
big one where
portal
it'll
dropping.
get
I just
refined.
respawned everyone, just so
Next
I'll
one
take
is
it.
like the
Vehicular homicide. What?
What have you done?
Oh jeez.
No explanation? Just this?
Have you read the title?
Yes. That's what I was saying. No explanation. Just do it.
We're like littered in toilet paper here now.
I mean, why wouldn't we be?
Time to go.
All right, I'm going to.
Slowly.
This is my like demo scene for the Roombas, and I just like replaced the mesh with these guys.
I might use the fucking gate.
This is Vowgan.
Have you pinged Rubik about this?
Comes in, the sync on them is very bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh wait, I need to mute
Oh,
the
this-
stream.
Greatest thing
Okay,
I've
there we
seen
go.
today.
I forgot that they speak.
Oh my god, frog car.
Is Rubik aware? Does Rubik know?
I put a screenshot in no context that he responded to. But
Oh wait, what?
So they put a little emote.
Oh, I guess I didn't see that context.
Time for then.
Froggy car hard mode.
You know what it's time for? Where is it?
Where's the Fiona project?
I have to find where it is.
Not enough frames. Are you petting Froggy Cart?
I'm doing it in VR right now, so it's been hard for me. Okay,
No,
There he
I
is.
read the name of the world on top of the portal. And I was so praying that I could just run over people and like drive
Okay.
over cars.
Is it
That
the
was
same
fantastic.
scale? I hope it's the same scale. Is it?
I just
No,
read
it's
the
smaller.
Homicide, and I was like, that sounds like.
So the other ones are smaller.
I wanna do that.
Yeah.
I imagined like Varnian's driving system, but when you hit an avatar, it just goes into ragdoll.
Oh god, I thought that was a suitably funny name for it.
Get away from me!
It is certainly a weird experience for me because I suspect this is a meme that I'm not informed about.
Froggy Car?
So these are my Roombas, but
Yes.
Rubik.
No, I know
but
the Roombas, but I don't know what the model is. I've never seen that before.
Rubik made
And I feel
this,
like I'm
and
in.
people liked it, and then people released it, and if you were in prefabs more often, you'd realize this.
Okay,
It got extremely popular with some communities, though. So it's like now it's also a public asset that anybody can download.
With a frog car. There's a frog car.
Okay. Fair enough.
Alright. Excuse me.
Stop pressing the race button.
You might lag a lot.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Fool.
That's chaos.
I mean, it could be a side sheet.
Oh, okay, no.
We could have more.
This one's sentient.
Frog cars and people than frog cars
I'm
from
incognito.
You can kind of tell who's what because the Roombas are like 0.8 scale as opposed to the actual.
They also have knives.
I mean, true, yeah.
Okay, now I'm imagining avatar dynamics. This needs to be a real avatar once that's out.
Oh my god, easily.
Then you could just have just like clone this avatar and everybody play this game.
Pretty much.
That's such a good idea, Cyan.
Okay, literally the next world I went to was that like Tanuki Tunes or whatever, and had a poster. And I was like, oh, it's fucking you, like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went to that place.
Wait, Tanuki Tunes were showed off? Really? Where's Juno?
No, not here.
Oh, okay.
Literally.
Oh, I see.
After I left the world you were in, I went to I joined all people that had that.
How ironic. Now you're gonna see it everywhere.
Oh god. Yeah, it's like a fucking course. I know that person.
Oh man. Anyway, hi Vowgan.
Hello.
This is quite a marvel that you've made.
You're welcome.
Alright. They have rehumanified.
I know fully well that I have done the world a service today.
Oh, here we are.
It's been a hot minute, Ryan. How have you been doing?
Doing well. A little low frame rate right now, but that's fine.
Alright, okay.
I see that too.
Next step. Color them and enable Udon chip bedding. And you've got yourself a frog fighting ring.
That does involve me learning how Udon chips work, which I will have to do eventually.
I'm pretty sure it's just a...
Literally just...
Yeah.
Yeah, add.
It's just the game object named Udon chips or whatever that you just set it, like, plus minus, I think.
You actually jump scared me. You made me panic. Like, seriously. I didn't see the name tag through the sea of name tags, so I was just like, why is it coming at me so quickly? Why is it right between my legs? What does it want to do to me? It doesn't have a knife. It's gonna kill me? It's gonna hurt me? I just got here, man. Help. Help me, I'm being brutalized by a frog. Why aren't you helping?
You had it. You had it. Watching these guys wreck themselves is so much funnier than watching the normal roofers.
Why would you let this dog maul me? I don't even have flesh. Pain is unbearable, but I don't have nerves.
Look in their eyes.
It's every step.
Vowgan, did you take their dynamic moves off? Or, oh no, they're just too slow.
Dynamic balance?
Yeah, no, there's no sudden movement, so the dynamic bones are very easy.
Kind of public.
Oh yeah, I see it. I guess I never realized that it had dynamic bones. That's how it was done?
Avatar, there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so like if you move sideways, they kind of, they wobble.
I thought that was part of an animation. I didn't realize it was dynamic bone.
Hard on figuring out exactly how to do it. So it's animated a little bit to kind of like
Force it.
go vroom vroom vroom, but then as it drives, it also stretches in dynamic bones. So it's weighted so that when it like turns, the wheels sort of stretch like in the 2D animation.
I'll fight you all with my bony hands. Open your eyes out. Oh, you think you have power over me, frogs? You do. I'm scared. No, not the knife. Oh, my bones.
What is happening?
I don't know. Welcome to VRChat. Wait, how many of these are people? They're all people.
This is funny. I've lost 3 ribs in the span of 3 minutes. That's a rib per minute. Do you know how severe that is? That's a good time. Okay, I'm very smart.
For the record, this was technically Reva's idea.
Hey Jerry, how you doing, man?
Oh.
I just did this in literally like 15 minutes of voice chat.
Time. It's good to see you, man. How's it been? How's the wife? How's the kid?
Good job.
Oh shit, sorry. Excuse me a second. Get the fuck away! Eldritch beast! Hey, anyway, where were we? Yeah, it's really good to see you, man. It's been a while. My bones, get away!
Yes. XR, I see you're going to.
Oh, are they there?
I think they may be AFK.
Okay.
Never denied that one.
What's the end about? The networking stuff? Is that like the no time to build that we did the other week? But is everyone?
Oh, I think they just moved.
I'm not racist.
What I do?
I'm not racist.
45 pounds or something like that.
A toad isn't a frog.
It's Toad. Mr.
Yeah, it's 54 pounds.
You did a great job. I will not sleep well.
You stick it somewhere and never put it.
Yes. It's a good idea. Today you saw a room.
Pretty sure people fight for it.
Fatigued.
Oh, you can probably just message them in Discord because they're talking there.
Yeah, that's what oh, I see. They're typing in Discord. Oh, okay.
Expended mode.
Mine, I checked my world because I couldn't join earlier. Mine apparently just I removed
I don't think I've actually seen the edge of this world. But it is much quieter over here.
Wait, were you just standing? Oh. You just keep going.
Oh, my favorite, the edge of reality.
Do you have any idea when we're gonna swap out of this place? Everyone's frame times are terrible.
Oh, we're trying to, but the person for the next world wasn't responding in game, so we're testing in Discord.
Oh, they crashed?
No, they're still up there, and I saw them move. They just weren't talking.
Oh.
So like, we're trying to get them to like drop a portal. We might have to go back to the hub, is what it looks like, just so that they can drop a portal.
I've seen my CPU times. My CPU times are spiking up to like 120 milliseconds occasionally. Terrible.
Yeah, that can happen at the meetup. I just saw 170 on mine.
Excess overlay. It's getting to the point that it's confusing excess overlay. I've seen my frame rate jump to infinity.
Oh, I'm using FPS VR. I don't have that enabled on excess overlay.
Yeah, it's such a big bottleneck that I am at 26% GPU usage.
That's not that much compared to mine.
Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
My CPU says it's only at 30% or 40%, which is interesting.
That's just a VRChat moment. It's at 33%. Game doesn't multi-thread at all.
I mean, Unity is very difficult to do proper multi-threading.
Yeah.
Cyan.
Hi.
I apologize. We need to go back to the hub. Would you be able to join on the link, and I'll just drop a portal to it?
We really need to.
Oh, okay. I'll just join now, and then you drop the portal.
Yeah, we need to get out of here.
I was gonna say I can do the link, or I can. What was the word? I could do the rejoin hub, but if you drop the portal, but it's like okay. I'll just go. I'll be there in a second.
Yeah, you wanna drop it? I think drop it over here because this is where our frame rate is.
All right. See you there.
People run over here.
Trying the new thing here. Oh wait, what? I didn't realize you were already here. Squid told me to join.
I joined the world prematurely because, yeah, I did say it, but I think you stopped reading the chat.
So let's see if Squid actually drops a portal here. Hello.
I was actually just watching your screen to see if it actually would work.
Stream sniping.
Yep.
No, we just wait in the admin channel, or wait. So wait, did Squid drop a portal, or did you just drop or go through?
Oh, I was listening to your stream, so I just followed you.
Oh.
I was like, hey, I can have a few moments of frames.
I'm even though I'm still at like 45. Wait, what? It was going from 45 to 90, and nothing changed.
I got 90. I still got like 2 blunders and a Unity open. Because
Well, it wasn't the only one that slowed down.
I'm assuming they didn't go through the portal and they just went.
I guess it didn't.
So when I left, Squid had to gather here, and I assumed that they were telling people to do something.
I froze on the edge of the map. Things just kind of slowed and slowed for me. It seems like.
Oh, XR is restarting. Do you know what XR is showing?
Nope.
Probably the same world they did last time. Since he asked for going last.
Oh, I think it
I'm
generally
on
like to go
blue,
last so
aren't
they can
I?
tour. Yeah, I joined you.
Somebody just requested off
You'll
of me.
get the invite request if the person doesn't see that for whatever reason, which happens sometimes.
That's odd. Oh, look at everybody joining again.
Through
Now, was it this a portal drop or just everybody clicked the link?
Frames.
link.
I don't know, maybe one or two.
I don't think.
Oh, so the portal did work?
I was able to drop it, I don't know why.
I did see the portal as I clicked on the link, so I think it worked.
Okay.
But I don't know if it leads here. I didn't use it.
Okay, we'll see. We were testing that.
Yeah, if it's like 30 or 40 people in here and we know it didn't work.
I'm finally
I mean, yeah, the link works, why would it not?
Oh boy.
Come back FPS.
Like, how are we trying? What are we testing?
I don't know. How did you come here, with the link or the
Doing
portal?
absolutely nothing. We're gonna use our map.
There was way too many Roombas.
The portal did not work.
Roombas with dynamic bones.
That's a shame.
There is never an
But I have my dynamic bones turned off.
No, I meant the Roombas or froggy cars had dynamic bones on them.
How do you like the avatar?
This is correct.
You can't disable those in Worlds.
Yeah, reworked it.
Nope.
Thanks.
Not weird. Yes, that took you down.
Oh gosh. Ever since swapping to Windows 11, I'll get this like occasional thing where if I tab out of VR and come back in, it'll like just be really stuttery for a bit, and I have to keep randomly like tabbing in and out to try to get it back.
I'm glad I'm not on Windows 11.
That everyone had for Steam VR for a while.
I'm gonna say that's
Well, it's like if I hold still, everything's perfectly normal at like the actual frame rate. But if I move my head around, it like stutters, like it isn't following like fast enough.
Thing, man. Yeah.
What CPU do you have?
Ryzen 5 3700.
Oh. I heard that like especially in the first versions of Windows 11 had some trouble with like scheduling on the Ryzen chips. They would like put all the threads on like the same core with the hyper-threading.
Yeah.
It might just be doing that.
Yeah.
And then every time you tap back, it reschedules it until it eventually happens to spread it across the cores. Of course, scheduling on Ryzen chips is just abysmally poor on Windows.
Yet another reason not to upgrade.
I guess I'll go to the front stage and wait for everyone.
I'm also on Windows 11 on like the Insider beta, whatever, the schedule.
Oh, we're full, so yeah. We're Squid. Did Squid make it in?
I just know
No, I don't think Squid made it in.
And I know I have to use like a special script to even start the game, because otherwise, if I don't limit it to a certain amount of cores, I get like 10 FPS and like super optimized cores. It's really bad. If I say like you don't have all the cores, you only have 6 cores, I get perfect frame rate. It's fine. I don't know. It took me a while to figure that one out.
Yeah, I messed around with myself. I've heard a lot of people have this, or it's like where if your chat or like Steam's not focused, their frame rate drops and stuff too. People get like issues like that. I just don't have it.
Should we just go ahead and start then?
Like VRChat runs.
Maybe. The Squid should be able to join anyway, even if it's
Yeah. So we're basically only waiting on Squid now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, there's a Squid. That's Squid.
Nothing was updating, so it still said there was like 78.
Oh wow. So yeah, everybody's already here, I think.
The frog in a chair. There's no frog chair, it's just the frog in a chair.
Yeah, XR's right there.
Yeah, over there.
In the corner.
Yay, I'm finally alive again.
That's late.
Hey guys, if we all gather around the stage at the back, we have one more world.
I'm gonna go to my usual space. Too late. Oh no, it's too
Perfect.
late.
Sorry, if you want to go talk about what you're gonna show.
Oh no, bro. Oh no, bro. Oh yeah.
Testing, testing. Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. New every now. I'm finally back. Because I was changing my time zone, so I have to go away for a while. But I'm back, and now these AI, I've been working on something new, but it is not complete, like fully completed yet. But most of the basic things are there. So since it is not that complete, there is no tour, so everyone can just roam around crazily like that. And there will be a bunch of updates afterwards, so it will be updates like, you know, time after time, because there's more to add. So yeah, gonna drop the portal. Let me see. Invite plus, right?
One of the two.
Is it invite plus?
Yes.
Friends plus or invite plus or friends plus.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Still, there are no copyrighted audios, so you are allowed to blast your volume. And remember, there are still some tooltips on the buttons, and there's no pickups you can pick up yet. But soon I'll make them available. So, yeah, remember, there's no tour to go around like crazy.
No.
Oh, wait a second. Wait. No. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. No. Don't go in there.
Hector, it's fine. We're gonna fill it up.
But it's public.
It doesn't matter. Nobody will be able to join because we're going to fill it.
Okay, you're free to go into the portal even though it is public.
Go into it, guys.
Okay.
Everything will be okay.
Okay, I guess I'll have to remember this rule next time. Damn it.
Okay.
Oh boy.
We'll leave.
Alright, time to go.
So I'm not sure the answer on that one, MacGyver, reading on Windows 11. I'm pretty sure Steam still does not support Windows 11 and Steam VR, but I don't know, one day maybe.
Ah.
Looks like werewolf ones. Just
Feels like I'm in a development in Sweden.
Dude. This feels like. Have you ever played a beginner's guide?
Sweden IRL.
No, none of these call for
good game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, finally made it. There we go.
Like part of beginner's guide.
So yeah, as you can see, this one is way bigger than my previous creations. But yeah.
But yeah,
if you guys have any questions,
I did not expect the puzzle to be public.
Was it the wrong instance type?
Yeah, that would count. And I guess more themed around individuals.
Oh, like a mocap. Yeah, like a mocap area. Wow.
Oh, would you count this as a cut? That doesn't really help.
Sorry. Need
Oh.
to use this for very important.
So far, all the textures are
I'm doing the Fortnite dance. Oh, so that's how they
Placeholder.
This is for the interrogation.
temporarily.
Wait, where's the door to get into this?
Oh, someone locked the door. Someone locked the door from
Oh, okay.
the inside.
Hello, welcome to Channel 9. Channel 9 News.
No, Fortnite copies VRChat. Full stop. Buying Fortnite dances. It's
You can see there's a bunch of screen up there, but those are temporary textures. But soon I'll add more details to each of them, so each of them will soon be different.
Mm-hmm.
Info. The screen you just saw is actually the official website of my team. So yeah. It's actually online. You can actually go there. And yes. Yep. Well, I haven't set up the cameras yet, so you stick with it. But soon I will add this feature where you can change the camera around, and yep, you can have green screen.
Nah. With the launch.
Like the Macarena is a Fortnite dance.
We shall.
It's mocap without
But
the
it wasn't
mocap
always a
cameras.
Fortnite
We shall mocap an avatar so he can simulate real life.
All these
Simulate
red
real life
things
from
are
VR
actually
chat.
mocap
Yo,
What?
there do be such
No
thing as
kidding.
like a mocap shader.
Yes, there is a mocap shader.
Hold on. Use swag one men.
VRChat avatar to control the movement of a real person in real life.
Swag.
That's cool.
It's interesting.
Now, because
Next
of
up
this
on sports.
mocap, you can notice that the screen on the other side is actually...
Don't know if I actually looked at the world name. Hold on. Oh, it's already in labs. It is called Dimensional Structure Emeverter Green. If I'm pronouncing that.
I'm sorry, I had to reference that.
Okay, time for the next one here, if there's any differences. So that one had the camera. Let's quickly see if there's any differences in the... That desk area was not. Bathroom is still closed.
Encourage each other to do
That appears to be the same.
and then come back here and
Oh, an office here.
Would you like to describe what you have not done in the past month?
What's your head in your chest?
Is this the Procrastinators Club?
You don't ask these questions, okay, Gold?
It's not important.
There's meant to be a meeting area with no tables.
What? What? You don't just... It's a comfy chair. You don't just sink into a chair whenever you sit down in it? Come on. What's wrong?
Working as intended. Here, wait, can I... My No? Oh.
I still don't know why my avatar breaks like this whenever I initially sit down, but then it fixes itself whenever.
Oh, yeah, that happens to me
do that.
too. When I'm not in full body anyway. I don't know what causes it
It has
either.
something to do with because the head is a separate game object, or I don't know.
Wait, the head's not a separate game object, unless yours is. They just scale down your head bone.
Is actually the island itself, because landscaping
I have no
is
idea.
so hard for me.
I can't recall.
Yep.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, because I disable like seating when I'm in full body, I don't see it, but when I'm not in full body, it happens to me.
I see that you put 4 walls into place pretty nicely.
It's a VRChat bug.
And I guess you probably know that. Every mesh you see here, I have to make them inside Blender, I guess. Yep.
I need to test it on an AMD card now that I think about it. I should do that. I should just see how it runs on my 550. Just test it, just to make sure.
Oh, this is different. There's no computers here. At least on the downstairs.
I just want to lie down on it.
Right into the cups? Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's well-lit area, though. It's almost so realistic. I kind of believe this is real.
Oh, is this the only bathroom that's open?
No, it's just the only bulb that is not occupied.
The only one that's not occupied. All the other ones are taken. Oh, there was no pickups yet.
Oh, good. A stack
Soon
of
these
pillows.
pillows will be pick-upable. Soon these people will be pick-upable.
Nice. Gotta have a stack of pillows someplace in the world.
Wait, I don't think I noticed the settings there.
Man, does anybody else smell something cooking downstairs? Like people?
What?
No, that's my
nope.
roommate.
That must be you.
That's not concerning.
Hey, it's concerning if it smells like burning toast. That's a
Wait, what is the not concerning one?
Well, I love the bedroom.
Oh, this one's occupied then. Wait, yeah, it's a bedroom.
Yep.
They're playing.
That's a bathroom.
Another bedroom.
Okay, I see.
And yeah, bedroom.
Oh, you get to peek. But wait, how did you know all of them? Oh yeah, you can. Okay.
I can just stick my head in the wall.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Oh, that bedroom in the back is like my favorite.
You can open the doors.
Wait, you can actually open the door?
outside.
What?
There's some doors inside.
Wait, where's the button?
Oh, wait, really? Oh, is there a button?
It should be beside the nightstand, but I guess you
The
won't be
client
able
won't
to
let
press
my
that.
hand throw.
That's the main idea. You won't be able to press it from the outside. Oh, there
Nope.
you go.
There we go. Are they just locked at start?
Ooh,
The buttons are actually here. So yeah.
Mhm.
You can, you know, close the door or open the curtain or activate the mirror when you need it. For those mirror dwellers. So yeah.
Toggle mirror, curtain, or door.
Yes.
Hey. Ooh.
Oh.
Wait, I don't need... Oh, okay. Wait, I only rendered.
Toggle door.
Mhm.
There we go.
Wait, what is over there?
Yo, I want to see Boulder. Let's go.
Oh, we're gonna go
what's
find
even
Boulder.
in this world, by the way?
Fucking Boulder.
Plants? The bathroom? It's like all the doors are locked at start. Just a text logo.
Yep. It's actually one place where I go crazy with the materials I have.
Just all the plants area? Because each one seems somewhat different.
The mesh is almost the same, but the material is different.
Hmm.
Look at this.
Beautiful. I mean,
Yeah, thanks.
but you know, the flowers.
Yep.
How can
I
you
know.
not say that? Who looks at flowers and says, "Oh, that's an ugly flower"?
Oh my god, you're so cool.
Why?
Oh, that's a shiny one.
Sir, this is illegal.
What is going on over here?
Okay. I see. Now I understand.
Melting's vomiting.
Mm.
Ah, there it is.
Now, okay.
Oh god.
Yep, this one looks fun, but yeah.
Yo, we got a weed house in here.
Is the majority of people just here in the center? Oh, okay.
We're gonna be going to the pug instead, just because I feel like it'll cater more towards like having like different conversations and different areas that you can go between, as opposed to just like a big room.
Hello. Oh, hello. How are you doing?
Quiet please, everybody.
Came out from inside me.
We're experimenting right now. This might not go the best, but so we're pretty much approaching our new hard cutoff time, and so what we want to do for the last hour is kind of turn the whole thing into a networking event. And so every week we're gonna pick a world with a player cap of 40, and for the last hour we're just going to use it as a place to just kind of gather and talk and network together, as opposed to just kind of hanging out here until everybody gets bored and leaves. Which is typically how we do it. So with that said, instead of going back to the Meetup Hub, because it's such like a big like room essentially, we're going to be going to the pug actually, just because I feel like that will cater to a lot more like separate conversation that we can all kind of go between.
Oh,
Interesting.
do you want to mention something about if somebody wanted to like have the world for next week kind of thing?
Oh yes. Also,
Hold on, everybody, quiet please. Quiet please.
Also, if anybody would like to contribute or like temporarily set their world to 40 users so we can do this in the future with their world, that would be awesome. It's very difficult finding a world where we can fit 40 people.
I could. I have like a very open
My world is always 40.
Not very good. It's like half broken.
So we already have one for next week, but this week we're just gonna do the pug and see how everything goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, just consider that for like, you know, next few weeks if you wanted to have that world.
It also has to be a working world.
Preferably finished kind of thing.
But most of my working worlds are like 40, so everyone can just go in their bunkers.
Yeah. My world is very working, it's just missing
It's been a while since I've been to the pug.
I'm like missing reflection probes and lighting probes.
Should I ping about this too? I don't know.
If you want. Oh, I mean, you get the instance link once we go in.
I've heard of this world before. I know this is an indie world that a lot of you have seen, but also if you go inside, there's actually a fully fledged bar.
So the first networking event, I guess, at the end of the community meetup. Oh, that was loud.
They give us a solitary here, but the proletariat, they're really stressed.
Probably shuffle some boots maybe a little bit, but I don't know if we can actually put
Peeps, there's a power back here.
Everyone race to the corner mirror.
Everybody to the mirror.
I guess I understand element now. Public black once again.
Hold on, this isn't a black cat.
I have really funny memories of this world, but there's more me harassing people who try to harass my friends.
Oh, it is quite loud right there. Is it much quieter over here?
Where did the yellow drinks go? Where the racists and the crashers?
I joined a random public lobby of this world, and as I spotted, there's two people in front of me.
What are we all doing?
Hello, Jordan. How's it going? I can't tell. Are you in VR right now, or are you just kind of nodding?
Play the Scott the Laws version of Monopoly.
What the fuck? Sounds like an average Thursday night.
Wait, does the medium or better avatars rules still apply here?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say yes, just because of like, you know, with 80 people is like, yeah, we still need it.
The world description does say please use an optimizer, so you know. You wouldn't want to violate.
I'm gonna say this is still part of the meetup, even if it is just a networking side. So yes, keep using optimized avatars.
As a matter of fact. Pugman, I'm gonna tell you.
That is a good
if you get a
point.
decent people upstairs.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Keep the avatars not bad.
Remember that night.
Not bad.
I'm not gonna remember that night. Whether you like it or not is up to you. But you're gonna remember it.
I can't stand the table the same anymore, and that was like 3 years.
I remember the one time I sat up there and we had like a giant amount of people over the round table, and I was just going, the council was disgusting.
Thanks for the burger.
And I gave.
Wait, you are in VR. What are you doing?
You think I was in the top?
Impossible. I don't know if I've seen that in this world before.
When the
Let me
VR
grab that.
I do believe this is anything but cake.
I'm joking.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
hasn't been soiled for you yet.
The burger is better than the cake.
No, everything was really sharp, so I was like, I think my render resolution is set to auto, and it was, and it was set to 50%.
Set to auto. I don't know. What is my setting to?
I mean, almost everyone. It's set to auto because I recently reinstalled my chairs off.
What is that?
Oh, mine is set to custom and it's 112%. I don't know when it set that, but I guess it's that for a while.
Mine is now at 150, which it does not need to be at.
Well,
That's a lot.
well, since this is a networking event, I do have a networking question. So, have any of you ever dealt with a kind of a system where you have to synchronize events independently of each other? So, like, you have a script or behavior or something that will synchronize like a number of events over a specific frame, and you have to have other clients execute that same number of events while taking into consideration ownership transfers.
I just yell at Panda until she does it for me.
I'm gonna say, do you have a specific example of that? Is it like gonna be different every single time, or?
Yeah. So with the YubiControls, one thing I'm fighting with, and you may have noticed on the light button switch, is that the actual count of event executions is inconsistent with the sync, and that's it's like because a player can like spam the interaction multiple times per network frame, like even with manual sync, it can cause the number of events to execute incorrectly. And so what I did was added a counter which counted that, synchronized the counter. And it plays catch up, but it still can cause it to become out of sync, and I'm still trying to figure out why that's the case.
So this is where I'm reminded of, what is it? Will it ever get out of sync if it's just one player pressing the button? Or is it like, does it have to have two players?
No. At least 2 players.
So when that happens, then it's like, usually the issue that I'm thinking of would be, what is it called? Race conditions, in a sense. So if 2 people hit it, they're going to both try to take ownership of it, and then obviously, you know, whoever had the button last, it's just, that value is just going to get ignored, and so the new person just takes it over. So like, I don't know the right way of solving that. Like the only way I know to solve that is completely overkill. It would basically be, you know, giving every player an object and like having them sync it that way, and it's like, that's not worth it for that case.
No, it's not.
So I'm not sure of like beyond that yet, but like honestly, there's like, are there any other descriptions of like how to solve that from like other game designs maybe? But they might just have the player like data themselves. No, what they would probably do is have
other. The limitation is that
limited Udon's harder.
Yeah, the limitation is that because of the fact that I'm trying to avoid all sync network calls and just using sync data because it's more secure, there is an exclusive one-to-many relationship with the data. So if you swap, if you swap owners, that owner broadcasts their information to everybody else, but they may not have caught up to from the previous owner, but they overwrite the information of the previous owner. There's no catch-up allowed there, because as soon as the next person takes ownership, it's immediately there. So
yeah, they just ignore information.
And I can't exactly.
Do you like your bottle of?
I mean, I might be able to do something with ownership transfer checks, but that's not. Not sure about that. But like with other game designs, there's a many-to-many that can happen. But like due to the restrictions within Udon, I don't have that option. If I could do many-to-many, like my data broadcast to everybody, fantastic. Your data broadcast to everybody, including me. We can do comparisons locally and all of that shit. Fine, I could work with that, but I'm limited because it's one-to-many.
I mean, I can think of some dumb solutions that I don't know would work. It would basically involve multiple variables, just being like, okay, which one are we using right now? And then you could use that as a way, but I don't know if that would actually work.
Didn't finish it. I got them all.
Or if it's even
it
worth
still
it.
comes back to the fact that if the player takes ownership, so like on Interact, you'll take ownership in order to produce the information necessary to synchronize the event counts. So it's like as soon as that person takes ownership, it ignores any sort of other incoming data, and there's no way to receive additional data aside from having that other person own an object, check that other object for that information, but then you get into the whole player pool thing, and it's just like, I'd like to avoid having to do that, because that is overkill.
Yeah, I'm not sure on a full solution on that yet, because it is definitely an annoying problem.
Separated by animator, not just all the animations under one animator. So
Yeah, because like, I feel like doing like crazy sync stuff is one of the few areas where like Udon still doesn't have a good method to do it well. Like that's one of the few areas where YubiChat could like make something dedicated for that at some point, and that would help a lot of things. Like all of the methods are a little jank to some extent.
I mean, they mentioned at one point in the stream that they do have plans for better sync stuff. It's just, priorities and when they actually get to it. Who knows?
Well, yeah, it's down the line. Like, I'm sure that it'll get added eventually. Like, that's one of the bigger things that would be very useful. But it's like, you have Nexo and that stuff coming out.
So do you actually need the exact number of events, or do you just need the parity in this case?
I need continuity. That's my problem, is the continuity. So like I can have the same number of events run, sort of, but if the local player does it too fast, the network, and then the other player takes control of it prior to the network frame, have it successfully produce that information to their client, and then running that logic. That other person, say this person clicked it 5 times, and then that person took ownership prior to receiving that information. So as soon as it takes ownership, it ignores all incoming data, and so it loses 5 on their side. And there's no way to be like, there's no way to know if there is an incoming frame because it's incoming.
What about storing the data not on like the object, and it's like something like external of it a bit that you're like thinking that like it doesn't get reset when it gets a new ownership?
The only way to do that would be never to transfer ownership, but then it's like, how do you send information to do that?
Yeah, and it's like, again, it gets into the whole player pool thing. Like, in order to communicate, maybe a single object being on the master exclusive, and that, I don't know. I'm leery on that.
The only
but it's like the fact that you have to deal with that ownership transfer, regardless, is going to be like, how do you send information to the master without owning the object to send it to everybody else? The only thing you can do is network events, and I'm trying to 100% avoid that because it's exploitable.
The other option, which is probably still exploitable, is using, take ownership events, which is still a network event, but it gives you the player. But I don't know how you could use that yet. Whatever your netmaster only thing, you could try taking ownership but ignoring anything that tries to transfer. But I'm pretty sure that still has bugs where it actually does transfer ownership but then transfers back. I suppose you would need to get other callbacks.
On ownership transfer request or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think Jordo at one point found that if you do on ownership transfer request and send false, the object still transfers ownership, but then transfers it back, or something like that. You'll get those events for people. So it's a little awkward.
Yeah, but if it rejects the data, there's no way to predict what it might be summoned. There's no way to predict what that other value would be.
Oh my god, I've heard about it.
Because I need to be able to communicate where both players are to each other during the ownership transfer in order to make it consistent.
So we were talking about networking and annoyances, and then I was reminding of the bug that you found with it. Was it Whack-A-Cyan? When you called transfer ownership with a request that always...
a bug.
Is it? if you say it false, it like sends the event to everybody still. Like that seems like a bug.
You got like one button holding that shit together.
I don't remember. It was cyan trigger.
I mean, cyan trigger is the same thing as everything else. It's just a different interface.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, I don't remember exactly what I did.
Okay.
I think in the end, like, I just do like, I just think like when the game is playing, and if it's playing, it returns false, and it doesn't even try to take ownership. Like client said.
Okay. I don't think that's related to this problem specifically, though.
Yeah.
And then he kind of had like basically there's like
We need more networking stuff for Udon. One day.
except for like
Networked variable.
Networked variable nodes.
And then you can work on the network.
I feel like a lot of that stuff will especially come on
You think Dan would give me that position?
stuff, which kind of involves him completely changing the way networking works on it.
I'm not a networking engineer.
Because, like, for persistence to really work well, like, they're gonna have to have, like, a sizable change to the way networking works regardless. So maybe it'll come in that.
I don't expect anything relating to this issue to be changed in persistence. Rejecting anything that comes from a...
That's your neck.
Yeah, rejecting anything that comes from, like, after somebody gets ownership is, like, a common thing, I think. I say that because I dealt with it in another system specifically, like, the actual code had to deal with that. That was such annoying bugs to deal with.
That's still your neck.
Hopefully we get, like, an actual stuff then. Because, yeah, I feel like that's just something where they're just gonna have to, you know, make a script thing in Udon, and then actually just give it something for that specifically.
Yeah. Like for most systems, it's probably not a huge problem. Cause like most of the time you're gonna be just like toggling something on and off.
Like, it gets ignored a lot, but like making a dedicated post for something like that might eventually get noticed. Like in detail of it and stuff, if there isn't one already. Because like that's the thing I've heard a lot from like it's just like people want a certain feature, but it's like literally nowhere on like feature requests or Canny or Udon or anything
So it's like
that.
that could be requested on the Canny of just being like, give a callback when data was rejected from ownership transfer or something, but it's like, I don't know why they would, I don't know. We could see if they do it. I also don't expect it to get priority.
It wouldn't get priority, but it's a matter of like, if the right person sees it, it's like, oh, that's actually a neat idea, like, and then just combines it with another update they're working on the same thing, because like we got Merlin now working on Udon and stuff, so like they're
I don't
definitely
think that's
one
how
of the
it
bigger
works.
people to, like,
Just after hearing one thing that Momo said in like prefabs of like working on one specific bug after her update or whatever, and it's like that doesn't seem like they have that much time to prioritize other things. But I don't know how VRChat is internally.
Yeah, they have some noticeable tech that with some very specific things.
In general, they will be given one task and a subtask. They get to, like, a thing, and like that's their main one to work on. But like, as you're doing that, if it just happens to be really close to something else, it's not hard to just work with something else. Like that's almost identical there. Like sometimes in your free time, there's a couple of them that'll just fix something that, or like if it's simple enough.
I don't
just
think.
do it because they can. Like,
Unfortunately, networking is not simple.
Yeah, there's only like one person who's actually dealing with that. Networking is like the hardest thing, which is why it took how long for that beta to go through. But like, even still with that idea, like, it doesn't sound like they prioritize things like that. The extra pieces.
Yeah, so they have a lot more people now, so who knows where, like...
They're still allocated to specific areas,
like,
though.
You can't see anything right now, because there's, like, whole architecture is changed so much in just, like, the last little bit. Like, they're hiring so many different people and so much, like, new stuff and things are changing. Like, they don't function anywhere very similar to, like, what they did, like, a year ago.
That may be the case, but until I hear something concrete of anything related to the networking changes, I don't have any. I can't really assume. But like even then, I don't know what the feature that I would need would be. I don't know how to describe such a feature other than vague, abstract terms. So it's like, how does one actually concretely implement such a need?
I can think of two different ways, but one of them you're avoiding. So one of them, which is you are pretty much avoiding this, would be using a custom network event with data, which, everybody wants that. If you could send data, then obviously you could, send how much that person who last owned it over, but you're avoiding that because of our annoyingly modded clients. The other option, which I don't know if I've seen in any other networking solution, is the idea of, when you gain ownership of something, get a callback of saying, what data did I get from somebody else who didn't, who previously owned it, and instead of rejecting it, just say what do I want to do with this? So I don't know if I've seen any other networking solution do something like that, but that could be a potential piece if you trust the data, which is questionable still.
Yeah, that itself would definitely be exploitable because...
make things difficult.
Well, I mean, at this point, if you're trusting anything that isn't a synced variable, then it's in theory, that would be, usable? Your entire system is based on the idea that variables are trustworthy.
I mean, we don't have any other... that is the securest that we can have it be, so it's understandable.
There's always the other option of just make it not super exploitable to Udon exploits and say screw it. If someone's gonna go through that much effort to make a dedicated client for a world, okay, that's excessive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's true, but I'm expecting these buttons to be, or not the buttons, the interface to be used in other worlds that are adventure worlds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're actually trying to build, so I'm not actually
It's an extremely generic system with a bunch of extensions. So yeah, it's a three-part system. You have your interaction system, you have your actual control which handles the movement, and then you have a reaction system which receives events. So similar to Pro TV, you attach a script to the control, and then as the control operates and does its stuff, you'll receive various events. Currently, it's on ready, interaction start, interaction end, value change, and then threshold. Threshold was what most of the buttons are using in the other world. So it'll have a certain value that if it goes past it, it'll internally turn a state on, and then it'll be past that event, and then as soon as it comes back, it'll turn it off and allow it to be triggered a second time. So it sends those events to the reactions. The interaction script is the player script that I talked about, the 8-point tracking. That one produces the resulting, it resolves to certain points in space, and then it'll do some collider dot contains, collider.contains basically, and then passes in the point closest to point, to check and see if the point exists within the bounds, which means if the point closest point is the same value as the actual point itself, it's in the bounds.
Alright.
Pretty straightforward. And then does it actually causes the interaction to be triggered. Same thing with the object one, where you pick up the drumsticks and you can interact with it. There's a that can transform inside the box of the tip, and you interact with it. I don't know, I pretend to put those down. Then the pointer does a raycast check to a specific point, and then if you pull the trigger, it engages that, it retains the distance that it found it at, so you can interact with it. So it's basically just the interaction scripts are doing various calculations to resolve to some point in world space, and then telling the script to interact with that point in some fashion. So there's like different configurations you can do when dealing with that. So like for the pointer, you can turn on a sticky mode, which is basically, instead of it being where it tries to move away from the point that you're interacting with, so like you're pushing it or whatever, it will try to follow it. So like if you move it away, it will jump to that position. It's trying to stick to where you're interacting with. So once you're interacting with it, it does its logic. Will send events to your listeners. And so the listeners is where like the button script is, the toggle script, the light management script. Those are all listeners. The control script itself is literally just a container collider, which determines where the control can move, and then the actual control collider in which you interact with. The container collider is where the pointer interacts with, and then any sort of other interactions, or like the player or the drumsticks interact with the actual control collider. And they just do a bunch of math to adjust where the collider center is, and then it will update relatively a attached object, which would represent the actual like knob or button or whatever that's moving along with it.
Have the enemy attack.
So it's intended to be an interaction system that can operate on any axis, takes rotation into account, all that stuff, in order to have a player or some object be able to move a collider throughout the world in some form within the container, and then have something else react to it. I'm trying to come up with as many use cases as possible for this system.
You can all ask other people, like in the beta channels.
It's extremely abstract, and I'm expecting it to be used by a bunch of different ways. I just don't know what they are yet.
I feel like a good person to talk to would maybe be like Panda or something. They probably know a lot more about this stuff than we do.
Yeah, I actually I showed Panda, had Panda help me run a couple tests on the demo world I showed today, and they were definitely hyped about it. They really want the lever, but that's quaternions, and that's another beast I need to tackle. But yeah, so they do know about it.
Just doesn't have the best with networking. Just the whole like master system in general has a lot of issues, especially when you're like swapping masters and like all a bunch of weird edge cases and stuff.
I mean, that's just networking in general, unless you had a dedicated master cert client that never changes.
Yeah, it's like that's what it's like. A lot of games tend to have like a server or something which takes over for the master for that.
But specifically, I don't think that is related to your system, though, right?
Host.
Like the generic Canadian straight thing, I don't think was networked itself, was it?
Is P2P, and it allows changing of hosts during runtime. Like on the fly, it allows changing of hosts, which is definitely not a common thing that I've seen. Like, I mean, most like player games
it's like you
have it as one host, and they're the ones who determine the state of the world. Everybody else kind of just follows suit. But like that'd be fine if we were able to pass data in a secure way between players without having to worry about like network events. But it's not currently feasible, unfortunately. It's like VRChat's networking is very. I don't think there's really anything that's like as close to it as. That was a weird phrase. I've never seen anything like it.
Anything as close to what VRChat is either.
Yeah, it's like because you can change the host of the data on the fly, it makes it much harder. Like it breaches different problems. Like how do you do data sync catch up if there's like a transfer ongoing, which is my problem that I'm dealing with.
I'm gonna say like that seems pretty common to other networking solutions. Mainly since like I was working on another product like, outside of VRChat
to work with because
yes and no.
To work with.
It depends on if you build the networking like model yourself or not. In theory, that one was, but like I would have to go contact the team that built it rather than it being like you can't ever change it. But like either way, some of the things was like yeah. I don't know how often they have to deal with that one. It's just, like that goes back to what I was saying before about like
I haven't personally seen any other networking system similar to VRChat, at least. I don't play a whole lot of games, so I can't really have a big claim on that.
Oh, I'm saying that from a coding point of view, not from a I played games point of view.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Either way, it's definitely an annoying problem that's like goes beyond just VRChat. It's just an annoying problem.
I might try and experiment with having
it's very interesting.
Previous owner type object where when ownership changes, the sub object gets the owner of the last one.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea because like as you were saying that, I realized it. And it's like that. I wonder how that would go. 2019.
Everything around you is like kind of like that inverted.
Those are some big Udon chips.
I believe these should cover the cost. You just knock the money on the floor.
Oh, it's still here for me.
Oh, weird. Oh, did you? Oh, the reason I called it. Yeah, for me, it came off the table and then was just like stuck on the side, trying to like work its way back in.
Ice cream sandwich. Oh, gift.
Combinable pickups if only.
Damn, I need to make another system now.
I'm sorry for giving you ideas.
It truly is the greatest crime of all.
Definitely like getting this taken care of because
I mean that honestly wouldn't be too hard.
Oh, using the backup one?
No, combinable pickups.
Oh. I remember like trying to do some dumb things in SDK2 with that. But that was SDK2 and
one interface thing that I've been contemplating is a selection box. What the heck?
What happened?
It was stuck on the table. There was a cup that was stuck on the table. A networking, or not networking.
The niche of big thematic boss battles that are hack and slash.
Crap.
The other thing is like my head looks like an. But in this case, I just really the big thing though is I just want people to feel what I felt when I first felt.
Oh well, I don't think
it's pretty like.
You said there was another system, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like, kind of like an interface or not even interaction, just like a way of doing something is coming up with a way to be able to basically create a selection box in VRChat, like in a world where, and like this idea came to me for a few different things. One recently that I think would be a really cool idea is in one of I have a friend named Smew. I don't know if you know him or not, but they have a world that has the not the gravity sketch, but the VR pen paint thingy that was Google's thing. What was that called?
Oh, tilt brush.
Tilt brush. Thank you. They brought in a bunch of tilt brush shaders from that since it got open source. Applied into some I think they used Qt pens as the base. And what they said was they wanted a way to be able to export things people draw in the world, export them, and then like bring them into like an editor script, and then build a copy of it, and then they could hard code it into a world, so like they could have permanent art in the world from people who created it. And so I was thinking, like having a thing where you can like maybe like through an object that you hold or something like that, but basically you draw a box of some kind in the world, and like you could have like handles which you could adjust it like a collider in editor, but then have that, and then with it, what the hell? I'm dead. No, shit.
I'm dead. I know.
I see myself contributing much.
I'm gonna see
All I
the
want
one.
to do is just do something that is technically, I mean, I guess you could say it is like just like a personal like passion project that I just want to.
There we go. So you'd highlight it and have some like callbacks or whatever maybe, and you could export, like you can read the data, serialize it, export it into your log, and read it back into your editor. But like I had that kind of idea as well for my AirPens, like being able to highlight as an area, receive a callback of some kind, and then delete the entirety of the area. And so any sort of lines that exceeded that would just be like truncated, and there'd be like a new point on those, and there'd just be like, you know, erasing an area kind of thing as a concept. There's something I was thinking about recently that I thought was I'd really like to see in VRChat, like some sort of area selection system would be cool. Because you can do that with the pickups too. You could select that, you know, like maybe, I don't know, highlight the pickups with some sort of shader or post-processing.
I mean, you can use VRChat's highlight system. But that's detail.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to know how to do that. I have trouble doing that.
It was what, input manager.highlight object, but that's...
Keep that in mind. So you'd highlight it with a box, and then you'd highlight somehow or whatnot, and then through some interface or whatnot, you would combine that and run the logic. So you just have a selection box system. I think that could be used in multiple ways. Obviously, it would need custom implementations of dealing with like how the internal handle is inside the box itself. But having that like the interaction interface of being able to drag a box in the world, maybe even rotate it, is something that I've definitely been thinking about, like as a possibility.
I think it depends on the use cases in that, but that's also more specific details. Like, what do people want to use it for? Obviously, you have your pen erasing version, and there's other ones of, you know, collecting the pickups and then combining them to one thing.
I don't really care if VR becomes an official.
I mean, it'd basically be like you'd have a separate script. I mean, the way I think as I'd see it going is you'd have a few configurations of being able to like how you want the box to operate. But then as you drag, you would have your start point, your end point, which could maybe produce through some math a center and then a size as if it was a collider. And so you would drag that into the world, and then the values would, as you're updating it, it would call event on a listener of some kind, passing in the size and the bounds calculation, and then that script can then check its own stuff. So I think it'd be a relatively simple one for like detecting and passing the information, but like the interaction itself, I think it's something that'd be cool to have. The more I'm talking about this, the more I want to put on my to-do list.
All right, there you go. Another idea. I shouldn't have said anything in the first place. Your list will never end.
Technically, I thought about this like 2 months ago.
And you'll probably get this.
I just reminded you again then.
Reactions. That's honestly what I expect.
What gave you the idea to ask me questions?
It'll be cool seeing your project.
That's a question?
Oh no, I just need facts now. It's like, so what gave you the idea to ask me questions?
Yes, that is a question.
It's a meta question.
It's a meta question.
About asking questions.
Depending on the, let's say if it's
Very
like
meta.
boss fighting, and then like as you There's progressively like get It's very through, theta. as you're like trying to like
How do you?
because
What is the
meta is
question?
copyright now, you know.
What is the question?
It's like the turning point. Where
Isn't that
like,
meta?
the question is how do I get my continuity of events working? That's my question.
This much money to fuck off.
But what is a question? What is question? What are questions?
Question is the desire to seek information through verbal or written language.
What is it?
The response of said knowledge or information.
I don't know why. That's very philosophical, but also very.
I don't know. Look up the dictionary.
Merriam-Webster.
I suppose that'd work.
Let's see, what says Google? What are questions?
Star.
And it does that for a couple of the bosses, not all the bosses.
And it's like, at this point, like, anything interesting you're working on lately?
That moment, like, oh shit, we're almost there. Come on.
One thing is interesting. I'm not sure when it'll get announced, but hopefully soon. I just recently went back to like my SDK migrator thing, so like hopefully I can get that finished and released publicly.
Wow.
Yeah.
A sentence worded or expressed so as to elicit information. You're actually really close to your definition of a question.
Stab.
You actually define questions.
So happy.
Yeah.
Like,
What is the what? Then what is an answer?
What is an answer?
Yeah. A thing that is said, written, or done as a reaction to a question, statement, or situation. Wow, you were spot on.
Other dad.
It's just like the question me asking is like, so how are you with motion sickness?
I was like,
Oh, I don't.
Hello, Slade.
Hello. It's like, alright, cool.
Did you actually sit down in that?
no, I'm actually standing, but
Crazy what leaves the ground like that. It's always exciting.
You're just looking at the ceiling going,
I overheard Cyan. I overheard you just repeating the question that backslash.
Yes. Squid heard it and repeated it, so yes. And now we're in the definition of questions. Yes?
Burb's audio is over here for
Cyan,
me.
what inspired you to make a Cyan emulator?
Do you want to know the real reason for that?
I'm ready. I think we're all ready.
There's actually a long story on
because
it.
you can.
I mean, that's part of it. Oh no, it's like, so the actual story begins back, I think it was in 2018, where Nacton was basically saying that, hey, triggers delete themselves when we're press play mode in SDK2. Well, I'm starting to look into like how can I get them to stay in play mode, or maybe just copy the data and like execute it in my own thing. Nacton made their own version of CyanEmu, like way back then. That was like early 2018, but nobody knew about it because it wasn't like announced, or what was it? No, like it wasn't detailed out enough to a bunch of people. It was basically in the Japanese community. The moment he mentioned that in prefabs, I saw what he was doing, and I thought, well, why does it delete itself? And then made some like quick thing that's just like, oh, there's SDK links. If you actually implement them, it doesn't delete anything. Cool. Oh, if you actually do this, then you can actually, like, you know, execute triggers in play mode. And so I posted that thing like the same day that Nack didn't mention it, because like it was just a quick, like, you know, hour prototype of being like, what can I do in that fast? At that point, I posted it, and then I just kind of had that in all of my projects, but it was not actually good. You know, it was just SDK2 triggers work in editor. With the devouring about the start of being like, I want more to this, and so it's like, hey, what if I could just make a player controller?
Tools.
What?
No, I heard you talking about all the tools you've made for the devouring before, so it's
Oh,
perfect
did
to
you walk
bring
that
this up.
TLX?
I mean, imagine if you didn't. Would you have kept your sanity without those tools?
Wait, are you say that again? Would I have kept my sanity without the
Would you have
tools?
kept your sanity without- Okay, so imagine if you made the devouring without your tools.
Without my tools? No, the devouring wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
We literally would not have been able to test it.
Well, it's kind of necessary.
Yeah.
It was a necessity.
But I mean, like, actually, me creating the player controller for Cyanemu back then was actually right when the devouring was going to start. So I was more of testing, like, I actually wanted to test wall walking in editor. And so it's like, can I make it such that, like, I walk through a thing, everything, like, you know, I'm sitting in a station, testing things in editor, because I want to be able to test things with...
the wall walking thing.
Oh,
how
I
many
mean...
versions, or how many worlds have you made with wall walking? The sphere?
So...
The demo one? I think at least 3 worlds, right?
There's 3 worlds, but, like, only the sphere is public. Like, the first one, which was just kind of, like... Well, okay, technically 4, but, like, the very first prototyping thing, which was super buggy, like... Whenever you moved, literally everybody else also moved, so it was awkward. Then there's the second, the more optimized version of that, which was just kind of like, you know, there's 6 different versions or whatever. I never made that public, but that was in my tweet.
Ah, yeah, that one I saw. Yeah, that one I saw. And then you made the sphere, right?
Then I made the sphere, and then there's a 4th one that was never actually discussed, but it's just the one I was testing before the devouring, which was meant to be something called Funhouse 2, where, like, Fiona and myself were making a very, like, I guess, I don't even know how to describe it. It was almost like a maze using wall walking, like, stuff. So it's like you'd walk on up a staircase, you'd then, like, rotate in a weird way, and it was just like, you just look around and you would basically be like, I have no idea what's going on, but there's people all around. But, like, that one never...
Did someone actually make the, what's it called, the Escher paintings? You
Yes.
know, the ones with the staircases going all...
There is somebody who made it. I want to say it was Suzuki, but I don't remember exactly. But it is public out there. But it's just kind of like, I had to make a decision early on with the devouring. It's like, am I doing this world or am I doing the devouring? And at that point, I thought the devouring would be much faster, but no, 10 months later, it's like, okay, I guess I gotta drop my wall walking stuff. Which at that point, then people, like, you know, I described it enough on Twitter that people could build it themselves, and, you know, people did that in Udon, and I have not really touched it since.
But stations are cursed.
They are, but they give you weird things.
Yeah.
But yeah, editor tools. Simplify everything. You just change avatars?
They do, don't they? I just I'm on desktop and I keep radial menus on the mouse. It's not meant to be. Keep messing. I like this networking thing.
Yes. It was mentioned, like, really last minute before this meetup, and they were like, are we all agreed? Being like, yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's not very different from what usually is done. It's just that this is a more dedicated world. Well, not even dedicated, just separate. Will be stuck together.
Oh, wait, say that
It's a
again?
bit more closure.
Oh, closure to the meetup?
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, usually, you know, you just stay in the last world. That was shown.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why it was proposed. It just kind of like, because
yeah, it gives it a bit more closure. Like,
it's
the
that.
main event is over.
Yes, I think it's also like I don't get to the early instance early enough, and so it's like, well, I can easily stay later, but like we're just in some random world. Why don't we just go to a new, like a specific one every time?
You guys have never done this before.
That way, you know,
it's
if
nice to get to talk with people. Like, I don't get to talk with you a whole lot much because we're all busy with our own stuff.
Yeah,
so it's nice.
I think that's one of the reasons I'll try to stay at the end of the meetup. But you know, with being at the last world, everyone's just randomly everywhere.
I mean, I remember a lot of people reporting positive experiences with you just in no time to talk. Like, oh,
really?
You know, the people who normally wouldn't have the courage to come up and talk to you.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's one reason why I stay in those instead of like some people just leave pretty early. Because like I probably would not have been able to spoke. I would have not spoken to them otherwise without that world.
Yeah, it opens doors.
It does.
That little squeak you made me think of your name being Fax Meowshin.
I've not had that one before. I'm gonna have to write that down. Where's my off-topic channel? Fax Meowshin. Thank you. I'm gonna try and think of a pun for your. How about Tech Anton? How's that?
Is there a reference to that?
No, that's not really.
No, it was just a nickname.
It needs some sort of context.
It could be a reference to your name.
Oh, Cyan! I was just trying High's VRWay yesterday for the first time. That
the first time? Okay,
that was
wow.
hilarious to see.
Oh, touch the CyanLaser.
Yeah, no. yeah, that was. It's impressive how far it's come from the first time we've seen it at the meetup.
Oh, VRWay? I'm pretty sure High had worked on that for like years. It was just never public for a while.
I mean, but still, like, we've seen it less than a year ago, and it's still changed so much since then.
Oh, yeah.
I love how thorough the credits are.
Mm-hmm. Every little detail.
I don't think they credited the font. I'm gonna have to bring that up at some point.
High was here earlier. I don't know if Phil was.
You know, I talked to High because I thanked I am credited in the world for helping out with the default fallback, which I don't know if you saw that conversation, but I thought was interesting.
I don't think. Wait, the font fallback? You mean?
No. You know, yeah, like when you don't have if you use TextMesh Pro and you don't, that thing.
I saw that in prefabs. I guess I didn't hear it here. Well, you got a little.
No, that makes sense. What do you have?
Fallback for fonts?
Yes, because how are you going to display, Korean or something?
Yeah, you can't bundle every single character.
I just thought it magically happened, Cyan.
Connie, you sound so upset.
Everything in computing is magic.
Yes, everything in computing is magic.
To think,
It's just like everyone thinks how a 3D model. They think it's just magic. They're like, you don't just press a button and the model appears.
I mean, you could. It wouldn't be a good one.
As developers, we try to get it to that stage.
AI coding.
One day.
Any booze? I don't know what. You can have this there.
Make me a game.
Okay.
Pay me money. Okay.
But unfortunately, we've tried game makers, but then guess what happens? It's incredibly unoptimized when you make it.
I got all I need. Thank you.
Not custom.
Plunk.
An
empty cup.
Take a walk around.
A kit bash game.
Kit bash the game?
Is it full of air? No, a kit bash game is when you get, what do they call that?
Does not contain liquid that I can see.
Yes, that's much more defined.
It does not contain liquid.
Air is a liquid.
What?
In physics, gases are liquids. What the?
That I can see.
Air is gas. But it's also liquid. Oh, yeah, okay.
I caught that case.
You beat me. You beat me.
Oh man, not to mention seeing how I can get it about connected to your person's.
VRChat's highlight shader does not go through whatever the liquid is. Well, neither does the glass, I guess.
Would you like the special chicken burger?
Everyone just taking cups.
Oh yeah, I see it. It all ran nervous. I generally wouldn't drink this. It looks very
I mean, I don't know how you would when it's upside down. Anyway.
Would you like the chicken tini mayo?
There's the liquid.
Hell no.
What? I was wrong. There is liquid. I just couldn't see. Well, no, I just couldn't see it.
What the fuck?
Wait, there. Now the glass is full.
It's a reverse liquid.
The liquid is by accident.
It's a magic cup.
It's an anti-gravity liquid.
It's anti-liquid, yeah.
Mm.
No. It's gas is a liquid, so clearly it's helium.
No, but the thing is, it's not even anti-gravity, right? Because then it would like empty out. Oh, actually, that's wait.
No, the cup
Yeah,
is
you're right,
the
it's
cup
anti-gravity.
rotation or the shader rotation is upside down.
Yeah, I know. But in terms of physics, I think this would actually be like, because like now it behaves like gravity, but now it doesn't. Like this is almost like the real liquid, right? How it would behave, because it flows to the bottom. But as soon as you go like this, now it tries to escape out the top. So now it's anti-gravity.
It was literally not. No.
When you yawned,
Yes.
Weird cups. Yes.
No, it's not. It was literally not.
Have you seen someone on Twitter showed like a really realistic liquid shader that you could actually pour, and it like emptied the bottle?
I think I saw that.
Yeah,
Was that in the
the
Japanese
Udon
community?
pouring by Dasper.
Some Japanese creator.
Yeah, I think I did see that then.
I think it was like apple juice or something. It was like a yellow colored liquid.
Well, I know that Dasper made a drinking system.
It looks like the meetup is over.
I know Dasper made a drinking system
The
where
meetup was already over.
you could pour things out of it into cups, and then
Yes and no.
you could
The World
mix
Hop part
colors, and it would like
The
blend them.
networking part of the meetup? I suppose. Depends how you look at it.
So was that a different system
The
then?
main event was over.
It was the Udon pouring by Dasman. I believe they showed it off.
I remember something was shown off a long time ago, but I think it was also like some networking issues were occurring, so like I couldn't actually see it properly.
But yeah, the system basically it works really well if you're up by yourself with it. But you activate the thing, it like pours particles into the cup. The cup will detect that and it'll fill up. You can mix colors with it, so like it'll blend between the two different colors. You can take a glass and pour it into another glass, and it'll blend those.
I definitely don't mean that. No, there's a Japanese creator had a
Yeah.
very realistic looking.
I saw that one at
liquid
least.
shader. Yeah. Okay. Good. Very interesting. Liquid physics are difficult at best.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's a number. No, it's not.
Everything else is a number.
Okay, we're trying that again. It's rigged. Wasn't a good roll. Hang on.
I can
Oh,
make
messing with the dice
push
again.
stuff without even doing any air. Like I can just push the muscles in my cheek.
I remember when there was like the voodoo, the purple bottle that had weird
Oh.
physics. Wait,
I was
glided.
holding that earlier, but I didn't actually see
Do you
it.
remember that?
Here?
Oh boy, updated it. Yeah,
Okay, I don't think I saw it here.
Light physics, or like ice physics. No, I think that was like 2 years ago or something. You could like slide the bottle over the floor and it would just keep going. It was the only object in the entire park that behaved that way. I'm not sure why. I think it was a prefab that came with like some weird physics material. And no
Wouldn't be
one ever
surprised.
removed it.
when you
So,
you make the
yeah.
opposite. You make
It was the only object that behaved that way.
Mm-hmm.
Things you find out when you spend way too much time in the park.
Yeah.
It's too late. It's been sent to Fiona.
Oh, I see. It's really subtle. You need to.
I've also found a polygon.
I'm not sure.
A polygon what?
Yeah, like over here.
I'm saying I sent it to a lot of people.
You can't even do that here, as far as I know.
You can just look straight through the
seam.
to the staircase.
Oh, that.
Yep.
Yep. Unplayable.
Apparently there's an outdoors as well.
Immersion ruined. Immersion ruined.
Not an actual dog.
I guess going back to the table.
What? Yeah, you're the one that recorded it, and I was just trying to prove you wrong.
And now I'm no longer sitting.
I'm still adamant that I was
Immersion ruined again.
Oh, okay. You know, all my weight is on my foot here.
It's your mom.
Yes. You actually have very good thigh
Dude,
muscles.
see, this is what happens when you don't skip leg day.
I'm pretty sure this is also core day.
Also, I feel like you have like your center of gravity is like here in your ankle.
Yeah? You know how difficult it would be to actually do that?
Maybe you just maybe your shoes are just made out of like some strange unknown material.
The Achilles tendon is so strong, not even a blade could cut it.
That's the density
If only.
Of, I don't know, Neptune.
The density of Neptune.
I don't know. Does that make sense though? I guess it has the mass of Neptune in the volume of like a shoe.
Well, that would keep me down, yeah.
Yeah, that would make your center of gravity very close to that.
Okay, I guess the difference is you have to call them to be technical. Well, I mean, you're still admitting that they're though.
Is there an Amazon Prime box here?
Why not?
Checkmate.
You question VRChat avatars?
Are you is that legal? Putting the Amazon logo on that box?
Wait, it's not the Amazon logo if it's cut off, right?
Rights to do that?
It's cut off now.
Well, not the bottom, it's almost.
I don't know how that works.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
It's not there. I don't know how that works.
Wait.
Muzon.
I mean, saying something about legal is like, what are you talking about? Like, how many avatars in VRChat are actually legal?
I know, but still.
I mean, it's considered parody, I think.
Yeah.
You would have to be legally creative to get away with that.
Oop. Clicking and sitting. Thanks, James.
Table.
Yep.
You're scaly. You're scaly. Both of you are scalies.
Have you ever gone down a rabbit hole so deep that you wondered how you even got into it?
Just like when dragons
5 times.
What?
I've currently gone down a very deep rabbit hole.
You memorized it?
I've gone down rabbit holes very, very, very deep.
If you remember how many times you did, then you have gone deep enough. I'm currently questioning everything.
No, it's more of like I went so far that I kept going in a loop, and the information I kept finding was the same thing over and over and over again. And so I was like, well, I'm getting nowhere with this, so I'll just come back out of it. Oops.
You escaped? How?
I hit a dead end and I got bored.
Hey, I single-handedly hit a dead end, yeah. No, it's
I guess I haven't paid attention to how deep I go in these rabbit holes.
Table, please replace the table.
Well, it needs to transfer
okay.
the master of the object.
There we go.
Do we now need to move to this table?
Avatar?
What? You have the pull table. Okay, so when Avatar Dynamics come out, are you updating this?
200 milliseconds for the ping.
Yeah, can you
Please, yes.
possibly in Avatar 3? Thank you. Imagine like doing a whole. It's theoretically possible to implement it on CPU.
I actually caught it on my own.
Right? I'm not quite bad. Like you could also do like an animated state machine.
Because objects
I'm not going to comment on what I would add to this because I don't want to give details as to what's possible. I highly doubt I could make it work, but maybe I could make it do something.
Do something.
Could you do like a full arm structure in like an animated state machine?
You can do a bunch of stuff, but do you want to?
That sounds like programming.
Yes.
Oop, tracking.
Programming's scary.
That would be insane. Imagine someone doing that. Implementing a whole like CPU inside of animated state machines.
It's not even funny.
I'm reminded of Hardlight doing full-on like math in an animator, like in a blend tree.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like
You do know CPUs actually have been implemented in shaders in VRChat.
Well, that's different though.
But shaders are GPU land.
Yeah, that's not an
Shaders
animator.
are at least still CPU land.
Animators would not be fast enough.
Blend trees, you
It would
could.
be like redstone.
It would still be really limited.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
have like one frame every like 10 minutes.
One day, somebody could try.
One day.
Oh, that would be funny.
Okay, you gonna make it? No, I can't wait.
Nope.
If I'm feeling particularly masochistic, I might give it a shot.
All right, we got somebody committed.
Committed, yeah. You gotta do it now.
But it would have to come after the selection box and after all my other to-do list items.
First come, first serve.
I didn't hear the news.
The big to-do list.
The big to-do list.
Yes, held entirely within Notepad.
How would it be void? It's not even a
I moved mine from Notepad to Google.
hey,
Just so it's like, oh, I can now access this on another computer.
On my phone.
Well, I mean, it's also on, I can access on my
I
phone.
have a brain.
Congrats.
Thank you. I store it in here, you know? I don't need it to
How
do
often
it.
do you forget the list?
Never, because I don't put anything on it. No, whenever I forget, I just move on to the next thing.
I was waiting for
You know? I just... Oh, what was I supposed to do? Whatever. I'll just do...
I guess that's a fast way to go through the to-do list if it never is fully completed.
Yeah.
Imagine if the pug did have a pool
You don't
table.
commit to anything.
The steam was pretty low after.
You don't commit anything, you don't finish anything.
I'm not. I
That's
can't
how you...
comment on that.
That's how it works.
Hmm.
It's alright. Kurt tells you like it is.
No comment.
Why do you think this avatar exists?
Him under your wing. He's trying to become a scaly, and like he just doesn't know what to wear.
I mean, with the...
How about you do it?
Have a scaly
For me.
avatar.
No, shaders? You could write a pool engine in shaders and then use the DPS technology to do like the pool queue thing.
So as what Table just said, why don't you do it?
Theoretically.
See? They know what it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right in the shader.
Maybe 5 months and...
You got a timeline, awesome. I'm expecting it now.
Oh, nice.
I have a timeline of 5 months now, so we can expect
no,
some
no.
point
Looking
of where
forward to
we're
this
gonna
thrilling
extend the
summer
shader
release.
for 5 months.
Summer release. Is that a VRChat summer release or is that an actual summer release?
It said 5 months, so that's...
I'll do it the VRChat way, you know. I'm saying 5 months, I mean 6 months, I will be delaying by 2 months. Then I will test
Okay,
for
so
1 month.
here's the phrase that I tend to go by. If you're gonna give an estimate, you always want to think about what it is first, and then double that, and then increment the unit by 1. So if it's 2 weeks, it'd be 4 months.
That's
5 months, 10
years.
quarters. So that'd be a
Okay.
semester, quarter, whatever.
Quarters, yeah.
That's
So that'd
quite
be
the
2.5
size.
years.
Exactly. There you go.
I'm pretty sure it'll be forgotten before the first month.
Writing a basic physics engine for like pool is pretty easy, right? Because it's all 2D projective with a few edge cases
Easy.
with the holes.
Easy.
Easy.
In a
Panda
relative frame,
comes in
it's
and
easy,
screams
right?
at your face. It's not
In a
easy.
relative frame, it's easy. In a
Hey, when are we
relative
gonna
frame, doing
implement
a
it so you can make the
basic-
balls fly off the table?
Exactly. As soon as you go 3D, it gets more complicated. If you want to implement fully, like, what's it called, continuous collision detection systems, right? You need a bunch of complex math stuff.
I've seen.
But there's actually an interesting newly sort of approach to geometrics, which is called geometric algebra.
I just want to cut you down. So.
Are you trying to pull my
It's
foot?
really insane. It's a rabbit hole or something.
No, I'm pulling your...
I mean, I think with 3D, you could implement in 3D and just constrain everything to the 2D axis until an angle of action is greater than some values. So, like, if you're hitting the cue ball on the bottom side, and it like detects that the angle is like maybe greater than 25 degrees or something like that, it'll cause it to hop. But if it's less than that, it would actually just
If you do it in 3D
constrain
at
it to
that
the
point,
2D
you can
class.
just as well do it in 3D in the other cases as well. There's no reason why you wouldn't. If you already
Right,
implement
but
3D,
like
you don't need to like switch.
excessive 3D calculations on
But you see,
the
that's the thing.
y-axis for a pool table.
What was that?
That's the thing. I'm
Have you
currently
started
working
Not yet.
on
I probably could end
implementing
it soon, though.
geometric algebra and use that instead
I
of
was just curious if it
conventional
was still streaming the networking meeting.
I'm not sure what I'm just like planning to do with streaming the networking or not, because it's like it gets kind of weird at points.
I just stumbled upon it.
I'm disappointed there's no networking routers here, networking
And you
cables.
showed me an alternative.
I thought this was a networking meeting.
I mean, just go to the server room over there.
Algebra. And the thing about geometric algebra is that it generalizes quaternions and other things to do geometrics. And it's so fascinating because it's dimensionality, it's dimension agnostic, which means that the same calculations you do in 2D also work in 3D, and they work in 4D, and they work in ND, right? The exact same calculations. You obviously need to adjust your base, your primitives. It's really crazy. It's basically the way you would like implement it is either projective geometric algebra or conformal geometric algebra, which are both Clifford algebras, which is like a weird mathematical construct that's mostly used for quantum dynamics and spin stuff and other weird shit, but it's really cool in geometric applications because it's basically, it works with reflections, and reflections of reflections being rotations, and a rotation around a point at infinity is just a translation. So essentially translation.
Forget the table still has collision here.
In geometric algebra.
I can't jump on
And
it.
the next thing is that
I disabled shares, so I can't even click here.
Imagine a plane in 2D,
Oh,
right?
I forgot that you could do that either.
And then a point
Where's that
on
button?
that plane.
It's
But
in
now
the
imagine that you have
utility
another
room.
plane on top of your
So you walk past the toilets and to the right.
then
I
obviously
don't think I've
requires
ever seen that
3D.
before. Okay.
But the origin of that third plane,
You
right,
can go
if you
check it
have
out
a
now
line
if you
going
want.
through that
I'm sure you
origin,
can find it.
I know where it's at. Oh, walking over, sorry, bye.
Over here.
Then the
Oh,
hitbox
people in front of the settings.
Then,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. Wait, Avatar Light?
like intricate parts.
Yeah, to be fair, this is relatively new. Like, these didn't work before.
Again, I'm just.
Wait, what is it? Razor Hydra?
Then of course.
Hey, Cyan, do you remember those meetups where I was in desktop and still used hands?
Yes.
That's what I've been.
Because you were using Razor Hydras?
That's what I was using.
Okay, so there was a time during work where we were basically moving desks, and whenever there's a desk move, it basically means, all right, everybody clean up all the junk that you have. And I went through one of the boxes that was meant for trash, and I found a full Razor Hydra kit, and it's like, I wish I could take this, but I have no use for it.
Find it.
I wish. Actually, my first VR project was the DK2 and Razor Hydras. And it was like Unity 5.33, so just before the one VRChat was on. I don't think that project works at all anymore. I would like to convert that to VRChat, but that's a one day.
It's not a bad controller, but it's also not.
It's not the what?
It's not the best and it's not the worst.
Yes. It works.
Yeah.
The main question was,
Yeah.
Magnetism.
this is more like a side thing. It's not necessarily something that I intend to add.
That's the funny part. It works with weak
Thinking about.
magnetic fields.
There's a weapon that I would like to add to that world that I think would be pretty cool.
But yeah, I don't think I've seen one since
called a
that day,
wire
which I don't know why I
Think
would,
of
because
Kratos'
I obviously don't
weapons
have it.
from God of War, where it's like
I still have
swinging
mine.
your
It's
little
up on the shelf.
blades around like on a chain.
Nice.
It's kind of like that.
Because you have it as a backup.
I was just thinking,
Yeah.
if let's say if I were to like try to get something like
It's
that to
better
work,
than nothing.
it would have to set up separate colliders and how do you say like
I still have
everything
project
set so that
files
it's not,
laying around
colliders are not bound to like the chain itself,
from
or
like
in this case,
ages
the
ago,
wire. And
where I
on
like
the end of
first
the
installed
weapon,
like
have it
Unity
so that it only
5.3.
goes out to a set length.
I'm pretty sure I still have my first, like, programming projects from, like, school. Like, the first ever program I wrote. It's not good at all, I assume. That was back when I was using C, like, just actual C, and I didn't realize it was zero-based for arrays.
The first things I wrote was self-taught.
I would say
I guess I was self-taught for Game Maker, but that was it.
So, yes,
Wait, are you still
my
here?
life is weird. So,
Table disappeared for me. Hold on.
yeah, because the hip trick.
There we go. No, no, no. Still gone.
I could tell you how I would do it.
The respawn?
I've disappeared for myself.
I hear you over there in the
What the
corner.
fuck? Where did you go?
So what is it? Well, actually, let me first ask.
Oh, you're in the bathroom, apparently.
The bathroom. Basically, want them to be able to.
Oh, wait, what the?
There was a table in the bathroom.
Yo, I would like them to be able to extend, kind of like ranged melee attack.
Hold on, so I teleported into the bathroom?
But kind of look like as if they're swinging around, even though they're really just kind of stationary.
How long has the conversion to Udon been? Like, does the dire pug even exist
You can
anymore?
actually turn on the walls.
Something similar to that, like even.
I assume the puzzle doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't right now.
It's definitely way more.
But you can turn on the
This
walls.
place is an interesting case of like it gets semi-regularly updated, but I'm not sure with what because it doesn't ever really seem like much.
There's a calendar over
changes.
there that actually is like current.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still feel like a bunch of the Udon stuff should be implemented by now.
I'm pretty sure Owlboy is not like focused on Udon just because look at the design of this world versus the code.
Yeah, from my understanding, he's got a very like I want to do everything myself mindset. And
rather just kind of like a whip.
That's why you're never gonna see a pool table in here, despite there being an actual pool table in the actual restaurant this is based off of. But you know,
I actually hate those soap dispensers here because it annoys me every time I read the company of it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Every time I read the company name of it, I'm just like, Mom? No.
What?
Yeah, because that word here is the word for mom in Danish. So I'm just like, no, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Oh no.
My mom is not a soap dispenser.
Disappointing.
Because then your hierarchies are in position.
Maybe coming to America and find a supersized one. I could dip it in.
You wanted to have kind of
potatoes.
They got like.
You know, I haven't seen the other rooms in here in a long time.
You can hold it between your finger and your thumb.
You could attach it with the built-in components joints.
Are you gonna go into the right or the wrong toilet?
Joints before,
No idea.
they're kind of weird at first, but they definitely do what you'd expect from a joint.
I thought was so
it would be
disgusting is
attached
that
to
you would just get one of the trays.
Wait, what? When did text logo become fries?
Why didn't I think of that?
He's upgraded. He has a McDonald's sponsorship.
Hello, welcome to Macca's.
Sorry for interrupting here.
I would like to order some chicken nuggets. Hello.
Hang on. Let me write this down. Right, what do you like?
You can actually put it away.
Okay. Anything else?
Chicken nuggets.
Okay. That comes to a total of $21.50.
Okay. Can I pay with my smartwatch?
That's some expensive
Okay.
nuggets.
Just swipe it right here, please.
Well.
Or you can swap. Just give him the watch. Give him the room.
Alright. Alright, payment successful. Give me 1 moment.
This is my only currency, is mysterious bag.
It's gonna run away now with the money.
Cursed items inside it.
Here's your order.
That's not a chicken nugget.
There. It's
Yeah, it
now
is.
in your inventory.
This is what you ordered.
Oh wait.
I can take
It's
it
the
out.
only thing on the menu.
Put it in my inventory.
There's only one thing on this menu here. This is a chicken nugget.
But I do have a...
Well, he ordered 2.
a totem to curse people.
Yeah, I ordered 2.
Or
Well, 1 is what you're gonna get. Don't be picky.
Okay, 5 stars.
Support this company and give them 1 star.
closest to that, I don't know.
Well, this is what I got.
Giant club. Morning star. Hammer.
I want to figure out how to make it longer by using a parameter, but I don't know how to do much avatar stuff
You
yet.
could probably just scale it.
Yeah, it would be an animation, I suppose.
You can just have an animation that has a is using a normalized value to like detect where it should be in the animation, and that decides the scale with a float that you have in a dial.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to use the thumbstick to
It's
change
called
it.
normalized time, I think, in the animator.
Okay.
And you can input a float there.
Normalized time.
0 means beginning, 1 means the end.
Well, I mean, you could also just use a blend tree, but then I guess that's more complicated, so never mind.
Yeah.
What's a blend tree?
Yeah. So the way I would use a blend tree is that I just have an animation of it smaller and an animation of it larger, and there's no other keyframes. And then I put that into a blend tree that takes in a float, and it's just like, okay, whatever that number is, it'll just go between those 2 values. Which...
so I can't
funny
change
thing,
it.
right?
Hmm?
Funny thing, if you use a single animation with 2 frames in it, where the first frame is normal size and the last frame, and it only has those 2 frames, is the bigger size. Then when you start using normalized time between them, it actually fills in the date.
That's how animation tweening is.
Yeah, that's...
But there's only 2 frames!
That doesn't matter. That's just...
It doesn't matter. VRChat actually has a fun bug with that specifically, where there shouldn't be any difference internally between normalized time and a one-dimensional blend tree. But if you have a looping animation, a one-dimensional blend tree will treat everything normally, and normalized time will, once you get about 95% of the way to the end of the like gesture weight, immediately snap back to 0 for absolutely no reason.
Wait, so what you're saying is that all my stuff is broken?
I was supposed to like.
Maybe? I mean, it depends on if you're looping or not. One-dimensional blend trees don't do that, but normalized time does. If you don't have it looping, the behavior is the same and it works as expected. But if you do have it looping,
if you have it looping. I don't have looping on because I noticed
VRChat just decides somewhere between 92 to 95% of the way there, hey, let's just go back to 0 and stay there for the rest, because why not?
That's why I turned looping off.
FaZe had no idea why that was happening and was too scared to investigate further.
Oh, I figured out it was the looping really easily.
See y'all. Have a good night.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, the fact that it's the difference behavior with normalized time and 1D blend trees, like Unity's... Unity...
I don't know. The only thing I know is it worked when turning off looping off.
It's Unity.
Because I have 24 different items that can be toggled on here, and they're all animations. They're just a single bone that's scaling down, which works.
Oh.
To keep like an excellent. Whoa, sorry, lag. Which anyway, like, yeah, it's using animation to scale them all down, so that way I only have 1 skin mesh renderer, and it allows me to keep like an excellent rating and everything. But the weird issue is that sometimes when I switch too quickly between items, other people see multiple things at the same time, and I only see one thing. And it's running off of an integer, so somehow the animations are like being I don't know. I just can't figure out why like VRChat would allow multiple animations to look different to different people at different times.
It would probably be like, what is the word for it? I forgot what it was. Lerping between the 2. Well, it depends. Like, if you're doing like, if there are 2 numbers right next to each other, I'm assuming, are you using the integer? Wait, actually, no, it's an integer. Are you just literally counting up and saying like 1 through 5 or something, and it's like that item?
Yeah, it's like I have a whole animator controller. The default state is to say integer 0, which is no hands, or nothing in my hands. And then anytime I select in the menu, it says change that integer to 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes all the way up. So it goes to empty hands, and then to the integer, and then back to empty hands, and then back to the new integer. So it's always jumping between 0 and another value, just in an attempt to make sure that I don't accidentally have multiple showing. But it still shows multiple at the same time, no matter what.
That sounds weird.
So I haven't seen multiple this
Like
time,
for
but
you guys?
that's just.
Yeah, I haven't seen multiple either.
I guess swords would be harder to tell, but I don't know. But I like being able to have a lot of customization and still have an excellent rating at least, compared to if I just had 24
With
skin
how,
mesh renders just to show a super
low poly your avatar there. It's like Quest
Well,
excellent
no, I
too.
mean,
yeah.
It would be infinitely better if they were all just static meshes, just parented to the bone, but like,
I'm looking
you know,
forward to that.
VRChat performance system.
Physics
Yeah,
bones.
What are you gonna do with that
Bottom text.
fry to physics bones?
Well,
uh-oh.
I want to make it wobbly.
Wobbly fry.
Right now it's just very... You know,
It's
like
a very
those
crispy
deep
fry
fried
right
that
now.
Mac is? Yeah, it's very deep fried. It's very strong and sturdy. I could use it as a sword, really. Mate, stand back. I've got a
Hey,
fry.
does anybody have some Burger King fries that you have?
I'm really hungry. Don't make me go get a sandwich.
I'm gonna be heading
So I was
on
trying
out
to
of here,
get-
but y'all take it easy. This was a fun
See you,
meetup.
Steve.
I'll hopefully see y'all next week.
Thanks for the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, of course. Scooby
Among Us.
Amogus.
Gun 'em down
I was trying
VR.
to get
Is that
the...
your own?
Hmm?
Is that your head on a stick?
Oh, it was just a friend of mine. Let me borrow his head for a while.
That's nice of him.
I was trying to get audio working where I'd be able to use hand gestures to trigger different collision sounds. So if I would hit a certain object, I could use a gesture to make it sound like it's hitting like a hard thing or a metallic thing, or I have all these different shields too. And I'm gonna add all the weapons to the other hand as well, so I can have shields in addition to swords. But the big issue that I was talking about in the community meetup Discord is that I have one audio source that already knocks my rating down from excellent to good, and I potentially want to have like 12 different audio clips. So I thought, okay, I'll have one audio clip, one audio source, and then within animations or animator controller, I'll jump to certain timestamps and play the audio. But as it turns out, there's like no way within avatars to just jump to
Yeah.
a certain point in the audio clip. It either plays or it doesn't. It seems like that's all I...
Can you actually use an animator to change the sound that is selected in the sound source?
Yeah, I can
I don't think
choose,
so.
like, well, I mean, in theory, I could have multiple Oh, I see what you're saying, like to swap the sound that one audio source is using. I don't think
Yeah.
you can do that. I remember looking
No,
at
you can
all
only
the
do that with worlds.
keyframeable parameter things, and that wasn't in there. Because that would be ideal, because then I could just have, like, to be able to go to a certain timestamp, because I could have, like, 100 different sounds all in a super compressed single audio file, but no. And then if I add more than one audio source, it goes, like, excellent, good, poor, very poor. I'm going to have more than, like, 3. So it plummets so fast the more I add to anything. And I'm trying to keep Quest compatibility too, which it's good so far, but it's a challenge.
How are they going to add that for Physic Bones? Because they were advertising you can have sound on all these different body parts. Would you have an audio source for each body part?
We don't know.
Until they talk about it, we don't know.
No. Well, if you
Because
guys
that would be
don't know, I
really
have no
inefficient.
idea.
You have 12 audio sources. You got a hand clap, you got a head pad, you got a sword, you got a
You got
shield,
the ass
you got
slap,
music.
sound, and
Yeah,
Never.
and it's all in 2D, ambisonics. Oh yeah, you can't even put ambisonics on an avatar, ambisonics audio on an avatar. Because you don't have the spatial audio SDK imported with the avatar SDK.
I just noticed what it says in the painting over there.
Hitches.
What's that mean?
Hitches get stitches.
It's in a reference to bad performance with the game Hitch.
Oh. That's
what I thought in my head.
yeah, I can see that. Can I go behind this? What's the point of this?
You probably can.
Okay.
What?
Design.
What I noticed they do in this world a lot is if at some point this was used in an event, instead of deleting it when the event's over, they just
I'm new to
move
this
it somewhere.
conversation. What's up?
See this nice
Talking about
rope thing here?
stanchions.
Oh, stanchions? Yeah, you can't go behind it.
On the other side.
It's the
Yeah, you
VIP
can.
corner.
Prove it.
I mean, like, oh, they removed the bucket, didn't they? You
They
used
removed
to
the
be able to.
bucket. I mean, there's other ways to cheat, but it's not really worth it.
Yeah, I don't want to risk being an incel.
What? Okay.
I like how the collider like stops right here.
And they're really big on
Why
not
is
letting
it there?
you jump much at all.
Why do they not want you to be in the corner?
I'll just keep trying.
You almost made it. Just keep trying.
And you hear like,
Also, this is painful.
exit.
What?
Off center exit.
Why did you
It's
point
not
that out?
right above the door.
Oh, it's not centered, yeah. So like
It is
subconsciously
centered
be
with
like,
the
oh,
wall, though.
But
Gotta
it's
go
not
to the
centered
right.
with the door.
But it's centered with the wall, though.
What's behind the door?
Another exit.
Oh, it's me.
I feel like this should be double doors here. That way he can make
Yeah.
it centered.
I think this place is up to like fire safety code.
I found the double doors.
Too bad you can't open them.
How do you get into the kitchen?
You can't anymore. Unless you have my avatar shown and you want this station right here.
Oh, you mean this chair here?
There you go. Now you're in.
Is this human trafficking?
Yes.
I don't like him now.
Why, would you like to
Now
get
you're
back
in
out?
prison.
Maybe.
That's
I'm
a
not
wall.
about that life.
Thank you.
What was that noise?
The fucking hologram meat logo.
So I can move people in, but I can't go
really-
in myself.
I also really want to open this.
The box doesn't make any sense to begin with.
Is there anything in it?
No.
One box's critique of another box.
Maybe it's the electrical outlet.
Oh, it's there's a. It's has to be as thick as the wall because there's a room immediately on the other side.
Okay.
Alright, we'll see you
Totally-
guys later. I'm off.
I'm also getting it off because I keep seeing your food and getting hungry.
I'm also wondering, what are they moving around here since they have metal on the walls?
I don't know. But alright. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya. And that is the community meetup. And thank you guys for watching, including till the networking thing here. See how that goes next week as well. But yeah. See you again next week. Bye.